Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Vigilante-Verse. I'm Dan with Sonig and Chris. How you
Hi.
guys doing?
What's up?
Oh my goodness. What a week this week, huh?
That was intense. That was an intense opening.
I'm so stunned by the music.
I'm so ready to watch them all over
I
again.
can just listen to this music the whole time. We don't even have to do a show.
Yeah.
I think the Supergirl theme sounds the best to me.
You think so?
That's the only one that
We were
sounds kind
talking-
of like I feel like I'm flying or something.
Mr. I'm the Flash. Anything
Yeah,
Flash.
Well, it's the one theme I think competes with the Flash.
It's true.
We were talking about this last week, the best music. I think it's the Flash, actually.
Yeah,
You said Arrow, right?
I don't know. They all have their different twists to it. And plus, it's the same composer, so it's...
Right.
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
I knew that, yeah.
Well, that's what I like, because Supergirl actually sounds completely different from the other shows. Like, it is the same composer, but I can only
Right.
tell that I'm watching a different show, really, with Supergirl. It's completely different.
I think because
Yeah.
the theme is more mellow and, like, chick-friendly.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I can
It
say
is.
that.
It's lighter.
Yeah,
It's
it
lighter.
is.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
lighter.
I think the Flash. I just think the Flash, Blake Neely, the composer,
Yes.
has more. He
Blake.
puts like more
Call
more
Blake.
Blake in it. No,
Yeah.
I think he puts like more emotion in it because you know Flash is always like, oh, Barry Allen's fault, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
but it's like it gets you hyped up, and then you have Arrow, which is like super dark.
yes,
So the score is obviously
Right.
really dark.
Yeah, it's
So it
dark.
works.
And you
Good
get the
job.
same theme. You get the same theme in Arrow a lot, which is that like that's what you get that every time. Yeah.
You guys
There's the
can't
arrow.
sing.
The arrow really sounds like it's like, or the Flash really sounds like he's actually running or something. You know, like
That is
actually
true.
sounds
That is true. So I think
exciting.
he does
Yeah.
a really, really good job. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Kudos on Blake Neely. If you don't know who he is, check him out.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Blake's a good guy.
Chris, how's your coffee over there?
Coffee's
is it
done.
good?
I'm ready to go. That's why I'm
Didn't
so
get
jittery
it.
over here.
Yeah, but you had a
Didn't get-
huge story about
Yeah.
why this coffee was like the best
Well, the
thing
coffee
of the
bothered
day.
me
Why
because-
you didn't get us any coffee?
Well, I simply texted you guys to say I was going to be 5 minutes late, which is not a big deal, but it's my courtesy. And then Sonic says, "What about our coffee?" And I'm like, "Oh, here we go." So already I'm down $10, whatever it's going to be for the coffee. And then you guys want iced coffee, which of course this place doesn't have. This place
Which is ridiculous.
around the corner,
It's
which
horrible. Yes.
they only serve you with an attitude, and they pretend to be, 100% authentic Italian, which they're just not. It really bothered me, but they didn't have any of the coffee that I wanted. I had to explain to them what an Americano was, which is ridiculous.
That's very disappointing. As an Italian, I am.
yeah, no, it's
disappointing.
It's
insulting.
It's disappointing, and I'm not even Italian. Like,
I'm also disappointed I didn't get coffee.
I mean,
'cause
I'm
was actually
German,
really...
but we're old friends from, World War II. But, yeah, it was disappointing.
but anyway, you were watching Arrow, and then you got really pissed off at.
Well, that's right. Like
Coffee.
I said, so I had to catch up on Arrow. This season of
Right.
Arrow didn't excite me like other seasons.
Oh, come on.
And I thought I was 3 episodes behind. I'm like 7 episodes behind. This was 2 days ago, so I've had to watch 7 hours of Arrow. It's like swimming in my head, and I have no patience for anything right now. And when this girl's sitting in front of me telling me she doesn't know what an Americano is, and she's serving with an attitude, I'm like, I've just watched 7 hours of Arrow in 2 days. Like, I have no patience for this right now. Please just serve me in an expedited manner and help me out. But I can. Yeah, what are you gonna? You can explain that to somebody,
Right.
No, you just want to bust out your bow and arrow and be like, "Give me my damn coffee."
Right.
Well, yeah. And if I had visual aids, like Dan's wearing an Arrow shirt.
am.
I
you
know he's all
I
dressed
am
up
wearing-
today.
I've never
Sure.
seen that, but like yeah, I don't have anything to wear that I could really point and be like, oh, this is what I'm talking about.
Well,
She would just would've
next
looked
week.
at it.
I'm
Next
the
week we'll
only
have to
one-
wear shirts and then somehow get them so people can see what we
Right.
actually look like.
You guys...
Yeah, I have a Flash shirt actually, but it's really old. It's like all
That's
messed
okay.
up.
I'm going to get
It's
a
really
Star
old.
Labs shirt, actually. I looked for
Yeah.
the Star Labs
Yeah,
shirt.
you
They-
should get me
they
one.
didn't
Star
have
is cool.
an extra small.
Oh.
I see those around. I've seen a
You
few
gotta
of
order
those.
me one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star
They're
Labs.
awesome.
I've seen a lot of them.
But yeah, let's recap
Yeah.
on this week's whole series of DC comic shows.
Yeah, please.
We want to start with what?
Supergirl.
Supergirl.
You
Let's
guys
do it
can
in
start
order.
with Supergirl.
Yeah.
I still need to catch up.
We
so.
just got to say one
You
thing
go.
here that Dan does actually not watch Supergirl,
I
but he will.
I will watch
Right.
it. I've been meaning to catch up. I've
You
thought
haven't
about...
seen an episode of
I,
Supergirl.
I saw the,
No,
the
he's-
very first
yeah.
one. But
But,
then
like,
I was just like...
The
Well, it
crossovers
was on-
come.
you got a lot to catch up on.
It was on CBS, so I never thought like, oh, it's gonna go to CW and then they'll do all across it. If I thought it was going to CW at first, I would have watched it.
Yeah.
And
really?
I became
Okay.
so
All
behind
right.
and stuff.
But like it's weird when you watch a crossover and you're like, who is this character? Like obviously
Right.
you know
Still
Supergirl,
new.
but like you don't know any of the other ones. But
Yeah.
Right.
we'll cut you
Right.
some slack
You guys
today.
can just leave me alone. I'm the only one that wore the shirt today, and you guys.
That's
Next,
true.
yeah,
That's true.
okay.
Okay.
So Chris, let's talk about Supergirl and have Dan
Yeah.
just listen.
Happy,
go ahead.
happy.
So what did you think of this week's episode?
I thought it was pretty great. I mean, this week's episode was, a bottled episode. Every show has a bottled episode.
Right.
Save some money, no big locations. Although they're showing a lot of ships going into space and stuff like that. But for Supergirl, it's pretty reasonable budget stuff. But I really like what they're doing with Rain, who at first I was like, this is going to be kind of a boring character.
Yeah,
is it even interesting?
She's pretty good.
But it's good. And Odette Usman, like the actress, Odette Annable, I don't know what name she goes by anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what she goes by, but she's a great actress.
Good actress. She's a good actress, yeah. I remember seeing her on House years ago, and she was really good. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I think they're moving the story along, and it's not so much... They make good use of their superhero characters. Whenever you have a cameo or something like that, like this week, the big one was Livewire.
Yeah, Livewire, and I forgot the other girls with her power is like she can read minds, but I don't know if
like
she has a
Professor
name.
X. I know it's not the right universe,
No.
but it's something like that. Like some
Totally
kind of
wrong
mental
universe there.
wave. I don't know what it was, but I think she makes people feel like kind of queasy in their head. If I
Yeah,
remember
so she
right,
like goes
yeah.
in and like basically knows what you're thinking.
Right. Yeah, she like gives you like a bad food sensation.
Yeah,
type
so
thing,
I think this week's episode was great because it was all girls.
Yeah, that's true. It's amazing. I don't even think about that because the
Yeah.
show is so good at really handling that, and they don't beat you over the head with it. Yeah.
But like it's bringing in evil villains and then switching, kind of like switching sides, but not 100%
Yeah.
to help Supergirl.
Yeah.
I think it was a great show, and it's a great episode where they go into space and like Supergirl can't use her powers because the sun and everything like that. So it was very interesting how she trusted the other girls.
Yeah, it was cool that they did that. It's cool that they have situations where Supergirl is not powerful, although I don't quite get how Rain is doing her thing. I mean, she's Kryptonian, right?
She is, but I think she has like a...
She has like mystic powers?
Or some... I haven't figured it out. Like in the comics, she's like popular, but like I never figured out like her... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know her well from the comics.
I mean, I've read all the comics, but like they're not something that I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's nice you mentioned like the the female power thing because the show does so much of it, and I never even think about it because it just works. I
Right.
kind of miss some of the Catco. I mean,
I
they're not
do
really
too.
at Catco
Ugh.
anymore.
It's
like
so
that's
sad,
not
like-
happening. But
First season was great with Kako and Kat as
Yeah.
she was the bomb. Like I loved her so much, and then she left, and I was like, oh my
I
god.
know. I know, and
this
they used to
kinda
throw
sucks.
in a lot of like Harrison Ford jokes,
Yeah.
'cause
Oh,
she's in
Dan-
real life. She's married to
Dan, do you
Harrison.
have a question?
I have a question to butt in here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm a real big fan of Martian Manhunter. How's he doing on the show?
Pretty well.
He's, when I was watching the first season, I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then the 5th, 6th episode, the guy came out and he was like John Jones,
Oh
the
my
Martian
gosh,
Manhunter.
great.
I'm not even kidding. I like jumped up out of my seat and I was like, it's the freaking Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
I literally
Awesome stuff.
It was one of the crossovers, and I didn't even know that he was like a main character in the
Oh,
show.
really?
And I saw him. I
Yeah,
was like,
'cause you
oh
don't
my
watch.
god.
Yeah.
Because Martian Manhunter's awesome.
He's
and
Oh, yeah.
he's one of the most
arguably-
powerful people.
I was
in
gonna
the
say,
series.
arguably,
Absolutely.
he's probably more powerful than Supergirl.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I
But
don't know
I
about
don't
that.
know. I'm telling you.
he is in his own way, and in his own like, where is he? Like Mars? Is that where he's
Yeah,
from?
Mars. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, I don't know if he's more powerful than Supergirl, but then again, you never know. But at the same time, that whole reveal when he came out,
Yeah, it was.
it was incredible. Like it was
'Cause
epic. I was like,
I
oh
didn't
yeah.
I didn't read anything about it. I didn't know anything. I get little alerts on my phone, like Google stuff, and I get all these spoilers accidentally. I keep, swiping them away.
no.
But it's like, oh, look who's in this episode this coming week, and I'm like, oh, like I didn't want to know that. But with John Jones, Martian Manhunter, I didn't see it coming at all, and
Yeah.
that's a good actor too. What's his name? I can't think of his
I
name.
can't think of, if
I
I
forget his
look on
name.
Instagram, I can look because I follow all of them. But
Yeah, well, he does
um,
a good job. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
he's really one of the. There's a few characters I could do without in Supergirl, but he's a big one. I like him a lot.
Yeah, and I just have to touch upon Monel and the wife, who
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, enough's enough. Like, get out of the picture.
You don't like
She's
the
great.
Brazilian supermodel
No,
wife?
No.
Yeah, from
First
Brasilia.
of all, what's her purpose? Just to make Kara
Conflict.
like jealous? Like I don't understand. Like she has no real power.
I mean, she has to die, right?
She's got to.
I think that's what's going to happen.
What
she
is
has
it
to
with
die.
you in wanting people to die on
No,
these shows?
but
No, this is no,
she just
she
doesn't
exists,
have a purpose.
Exactly. She
Oh,
exists to create conflict between Mon-El and Kara. And I feel like she's gonna die saving Kara, something like that, and then it's gonna be Mon-El like, oh, like I'm really depressed, my wife, but
it's like,
maybe
get
in the
over
future.
yourself. You're still in love with Supergirl, like
Well, exactly.
70 years later, or whatever it was. Like,
yeah.
Just like get over it.
I know it is a little weird, and especially the episode before this one, they kind of had moments where like, is this like a new TV show they're pitching or something? They had like all these scenes with them as like a superhero team.
Yeah, like
the
what
Legion
do
of
they call Legion?
the Legion of Superheroes, and I was like, is this on after Black Light? Like, what is? Because it was making me worried. I don't have enough time to watch all these shows. Like I said,
make time.
I can't make.
No, I know.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And for the Supergirl universe,
there's a lot going on, but it's one of those like TV couples where I'm like, you guys were so great together in season 2, and now it's just like, really, you got to do that? Like, I get it. Like,
well, it's one of the problems with DC or with CW shows. If you have a character one way, they got to be the opposite by the end of the season. So Flash goes from happy-go-lucky Barry Allen to like down in the dumps in jail.
Yeah, like it's crazy how it
the
goes
character
from one
arcs,
extreme to another.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's our recap on Supergirl. Since,
all right, let's get to the good shows.
We'll get to the next
Supergirl, you'll enjoy you'll enjoy going back rewatch or watching for the first time Supergirl, because it actually has gotten pretty decent.
Better.
It only gets better. I'll give that show credit.
Like I said, if it started on CW, I would have watched it. It's just it started on CBS.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, this is gonna be done. It's not gonna be anything.
Right.
So that's why, I want to go back. Even though I hate like Superman and all.
Please let's not get into that because I will.
We
can how could you hate Superman?
We can get into
this discussion.
Christopher. Because of the fact that you need a rock and he's done. That's why whenever all the arguments,
do you
Batman
realize that
versus
people
Superman.
listening to this show will probably hate you because there's a
ridiculous.
lot of
that's
Superman fans out there, including myself. This is why we're not having this conversation.
Put DC on his back for years and just carried
it.
And
you know who took over because he was better? Batman.
Okay. Anyway, so moving on. Batman, we are moving on to what? The Flash right now.
Yes, the Flash. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, this is your baby.
Yes.
I love everything about the Flash.
Why don't you start the recap on Flash?
This is Ralph's episode in this
it really
week.
Is.
I mean, I think they did a great job introducing my boy Ralph, who at first I was like, this guy's doing a Jim Carrey impression. Am I going to like this? But he's pretty endearing. It's hard not to like him, and it's kind of entertaining. And this week you saw him become a real superhero.
Yeah.
He gives that whole speech at the end, which is very well done. You even see Caitlin's face. Caitlin she has the best reactions of the whole show.
She does. Yeah, she's great.
But you can see they were all kind of stunned, like, here he is. Yeah. He finally get a nice suit and everything.
Saves the day.
Yeah, exactly. Right. He saves the day. Plus, he knows, he could get burned alive or whatever, singed alive by the acid.
Right.
But somehow, what's his name, hacked the liquid?
Harry,
I'm still a little...
Harry hacked the liquid at the very end.
Is that possible? Can I make my Coke gin by...
It was like an anecdote. And, he didn't have it, but then he had it, and that's why he didn't burn.
2 seconds left, and then, Ralph goes in and is like,
I mean, I didn't even see anything going into the water.
No,
it was like Wi-Fi.
Can we talk about Ralph's screams when he got the acid?
Oh, my God.
It's
great. It's great.
It was funny.
But, in the middle of the episode, you, hate Ralph because he Iris, Caitlin go were you only saving people because you thought you wouldn't get hurt? He was like, yeah. He was like, okay, you're kind of
if you think about it, it makes sense because, he's not the true superhero like
right.
Flash. So Flash can do whatever he wants.
And then in the end, you see that he didn't know the acid was cured. And he was willing to.
No,
so
it was.
That's why it was him. Now he's a hero.
I thought it was really genius to do this episode as a trickster episode and bringing back. God, I wish I knew her name. She was in the original Flash series in the '90s with Mark Hamill.
Oh, the one who plays the mom. Yeah.
She did such a good job.
Yeah, she's great.
And obviously with the son, but it was the same humor that Ralph has. This kind of I don't take it seriously. They are it's kind of like the Tinkerer. They're real villains, but they just kind of find it funny.
It's like a villain that you don't find very villainy.
Right,
if that makes sense. It's
it's like a lighthearted Joker.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just so what I was confused about is obviously you get the trickster, the son, and the trickster dad, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
They say in the middle of it, it's he broke out last year.
Yeah.
Why did the Flash not get the memo that he broke out? And
I don't think it was a whole serious kind of breakout that the Flash would have to be like, oh my God.
But he was a madman, and you're
but
just
then
not.
you think about it. Where did he go?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Where is Mark
Hamill?
Hamill?
But it's Flash.
On an
I feel
island.
Flash has more.
On an island.
Yeah, on an island.
Yeah.
With Arrow. I feel Flash is has his own shit going on.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a big. I think they were just trying to get him out of the episode.
I don't think it was like.
Well, I think they couldn't get Mark Hamill for the episode, and they were like, "Oh, he's somewhere else.
He's somewhere doing another show or something.
Right.
Who knows?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this episode was good because Barry's stuck in jail, and to have Ralph visit him, that was pretty.
That was
fun.
pretty funny.
That was
yeah.
cool.
His head poking
head
into
poking
the
I
bars.
was like,
That's funny.
What's going on?
And then when he says, "I'm gonna break you out," and then Barry's like, "What are you doing? Can you
Yeah.
stop?" Like,
Just
come on.
stop.
Well, I
man.
don't, I don't know how long they're going to keep this jail thing up. I've read
So-
some of the comics of this, and
Right.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
too.
But you know he's gonna get out of jail, right? You know, obviously that's gonna happen.
maybe.
But it's like
Oh,
you never,
come on.
you never
know
know.
it's gonna happen.
With the CW, you never know because they could change it where it's like, oh, he's gonna stay in jail for like half the season to
no
see what's
way.
gonna happen. You
No,
never
that's
know.
that's like when Arrow
And Diggle,
way back.
Diggle will become the Flash.
That's
He's
like
itching for it.
Arrow,
Yeah.
That was like Arrow season 3 when like he quote unquote died, but then he was alive. When I saw that mid-season finale and he died, I was like, oh my god, no! Like what's gonna happen? And
So what, to Arrow? We're not getting there yet.
We're not getting there. But no. Listen,
But no, we get.
there's no way they're gonna keep him in jail. But what I'm saying is, how are they gonna get him out? That's my thing.
Oh, he's
Like-
going to be proven.
But-
it's going
right.
to be through the justice system, no doubt.
Yeah.
Or else
Right,
they wouldn't
I
do that.
do-
in the
Obviously,
arc, yeah.
obviously.
And
but
I do
how?
have my theory.
Like, how do you do that?
Well, I don't know, but I have a theory. Can I share my theory?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what this
so-
show is for.
So the captain of the CCPD.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know his name.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I like
So-
that guy, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know-
so-
He was the one giving the speech when Jerry was put away in jail.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
That
so
was
that whole
cool.
scene where he gives the award to Flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Barry gets put,
In
sentenced
jail, and
to
they
jail.
go
Kind
back
of,
and
blah, blah,
seemed
blah.
like he knew Barry was the Flash,
No,
too.
but I feel like now that the Flash is missing, I feel like he will put the pieces together and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I think since Barry Allen is not here and
Right.
since the Flash
Right.
is not here, I feel like that would be the Flash. And then since he's the captain of the whole precinct, I feel like he will be like, say something to somebody. I don't know, to try to see like, oh, he is the Flash. And
That's a good point. There's been a lot of times I've thought in the episode, it not only in The Flash, but in a couple of the other shows, especially Supergirl's kind of doing that right now. It's like, oh man, God, Supergirl's out of commission. Like, where is Kara right now? Like, it's like,
Right.
yeah, maybe you could put those two together, especially when
Right.
a pair of spectacles are the difference. But
yeah, it's weird how people don't get that. But
Right.
that's a whole different story.
But I think you're onto something there. I think either it's going to be the conspiracy with what's his name? Not Brainiac, but super smart villain for
the
Flash
Thinker?
this year, the Thinker.
Yeah.
I think either something like that's going to be exposed that he's part of like some giant conspiracy, and that's how they defeat him, or some kind of legal trickery. I mean, this is the CW. Like,
Yeah,
did
you
you see?
never-
Did you see Arrow's trial? Like,
Yeah, like,
legal precedent's
Right.
not very.
no, it's not
big.
very prominent.
No.
What I'm saying is the reason that he's in jail, because obviously you see he's in the apartment. He could have easily ran away, and
Yeah,
his
but that
whole
makes him
thing-
even more guilty.
Yeah.
Right, but his
Yeah.
whole thing is the way he's gonna get out is through the legal.
I think so too.
Yes,
way.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why, but the only way for that to happen is for the Thinker to come out and be like, "Hey, I'm the Thinker," which I
Either
don't think's gonna
that,
happen.
either that, or his wife is gonna turn on him.
Which I
That's
can
what I
see
think-
happening too.
That's what I think is more
Yeah.
likely.
Which
yeah.
I can see happening because you saw because now he's in a different
Yeah,
body.
you
She was
saw her
like,
disgusted face.
Yeah,
when she
that
was, like,
was
kissing him, and I was
that
like,
was
well,
that was
obviously.
uncomfortable.
I mean,
that
she
was
seemed to
uncomfortable.
get over it
Pretty
pretty
quick.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, really?
yeah,
Quickly.
but how much is that gonna last? Like, you
Right.
were with your husband for how many years? Like,
I mean, it is
I mean,
him.
your
but it's a
husband turning
different-
into
it's
a
a
hunk
different-
with a six pack,
yeah,
who all of a
black
sudden,
dude.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
like,
she didn't seem
hey,
to mind it that
alright.
much. Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like she has, even though she's like a super villain, I feel like she has a soft spot and like will
Right.
Yeah.
somehow turn on her
So
husband.
the whole thing, we're over halfway through The Flash now this year,
Yep.
and we still do not know what the Thinker wants.
And I think that's the point.
But like,
Yeah, he's so far ahead.
right? But
he's so far ahead of you.
usually the viewer knows, and the Flash doesn't.
Yeah,
like
that's
we
fair
don't
enough.
even know. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
Yeah.
what does he want?
Which makes it even interesting because you're like, what the F is going on with
Right.
this guy? And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
I
he's
can't even go 2 or 3 steps ahead of him.
Right. And he's terrorizing the city. Obviously, he's a bad guy, but we don't know what his end goal. He keeps saying, like, I forget what he calls it, but like some type of revolution where he's gonna redo
Yeah, where
everything
he's gonna
and
like,
Yeah.
like change the change the world or
and
something.
Barry couldn't understand it if he told him, like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's a good point. Honestly, I've been so entertained by The Flash is the best show on television that I haven't even thought about the main plot.
Not being
I
biased.
haven't even thought about the story.
But I do hope they bring back the actor who was the Thinker, because I kind of missed his. I mean, that guy's a good actor. I can't think of his name, but he kind of looks like Hellraiser or something. But
and when he sat in the chair, it was like, oh, this is the Thinker.
It's a nice chair. He looks like the Emperor floating
a nice
around.
chair.
Yeah, I like this
Star
chair.
Wars action going
Exactly.
on there.
Yeah, like, you want this, don't you?
Yeah,
But,
but the episode this past week was just, it was in like different directions, but it was like a good direction.
Well,
it was fun. Like
Right.
that's what I like about The Flash.
Right.
Like there's a lot of hit and misses, and sometimes, like you said, it does get way too dour, but it's fun. I always have fun with The Flash.
So if we are talking about TV couples like we did for Supergirl with Mon-El and Kara.
Right.
We're getting into couples now.
Well, we have to. We
No,
are.
go
We
ahead.
are
It's the CW.
It's
It
the
is the
CW.
CW.
Yeah,
This is
it's
a
all
big
part of
about
the show.
Let's be real. CW is all about couples.
Uh-huh.
So now we're going into Iris and Barry. Which
You don't
maybe
like
my
them.
favorite couple. Man.
I cannot stand
Sonic
them
doesn't
together.
like them,
no.
You don't like them together. You like them separate,
said
though. The characters, or
You
No.
said the chemistry, though, right?
They have. Maybe it's just the actors, but I don't.
Yeah.
There is no chemistry like there is with Oliver and Felicity.
I agree with that.
I will go
It's a
back to
joke.
that, but it could be the acting part of it. But like Barry Allen and Iris West is not like your ideal couple. Like I don't see them together, even though they're currently married. I'm just
Right.
like, you're married to this guy and he just went to jail, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna run Star Labs now. Like what?
yeah, she's
I
persevering.
also think it's
mean,
I think it's ridiculous that she just took over the team. Why?
well,
she was a
We are
journalist.
the Flash. That's why.
No, stop with the we are.
We are the Flash. She's going to step in and take over. That's.
It
God.
makes no sense that she took over.
I mean,
It
it's not
makes
that
no
she's. If you
sense.
watch the episode, she's really there almost as like she's not even really taking over.
like a
she's
coach,
just there.
she's just like, come on, guys.
A little bit, you know. Like, listen, I really like Iris. Like, she was someone that at the beginning I was like, oh, God, they're gonna take the Flash and make this all about the relationship. But as it
Right.
goes on, I'm kind of like, you know, I actually see the chemistry with the two, and she's
I
really
do
grown on
say-
me.
I
Kind of
do-
in the way Felicity grew on me a little bit. Like, it's just she
it's-
annoyed me at first, then it became like, oh, she's kind of like cute and determined, and
Yeah.
after a while,
I
it's
guess I'm comparing it to Felicity and Oliver, and
Yeah,
they're
Felicity
like
and Oliver, I
huge
think,
chemistry together.
I think they have way
but
more
I also
chemistry.
think it's because the actors are like best friends.
yeah, that could
Oh,
be
I
too.
think
yeah.
I think that's why. But at the same time, I'm like, I just don't see it with Iris. And
the
Barry,
chemistry
but-
with Oliver and Felicity, I think, is definitely better.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know, honestly,
100%.
Definitely.
I don't think it's really Iris. I think it's more Barry. I feel like Barry's the actor Grant Gustin. I don't think he's really comfortable doing a lot of the,
Scenes with her.
I just don't think he's comfortable doing the more dramatic stuff. He seems very good at like happier Flash, but when he tries to get serious, his range is not very big.
Oh, you don't like when he like does those brooding scenes? He's like, oh, it's all my fault.
No, and it's just like like
Dang.
But I do
we
have
get
to say
Arrow every week. I don't need that on the
Yeah.
Flash, you know.
Oh, I see
true.
what you're saying.
But he is a very, very good actor.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to
Yeah.
give him props on that. I mean, come on. If we were in that situation, I'd be like, what's my line again? Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
Oh, here we
You
go.
never see
Chris.
me
Oh,
in
here
the
we
big
go.
lights,
Here we go.
ask me later.
Let me get another coffee, please.
Yeah,
That'd be
he needs a coffee.
Chris.
Americano stat.
I have very specific requirements for my show.
Oh, the ending of Flash we didn't talk about. They Ralph and Cisco at CC Jitters, they run into that girl.
Oh,
who's-
who was at the wedding in the crossover?
Was she at the
Yes.
wedding? Oh my
I mean, we know who that is, right?
No.
No.
Do you know who she is?
Do you know who she is?
Well, yeah. There's only one person it could be. That's Barry and Iris's daughter from the future. She's traveling back
Oh,
in time.
no way.
You are
Absolutely,
right. You
yeah,
are right.
yeah.
Yes, from
No
the comics.
way.
Yes.
No, that's why she
No
was at the wedding.
way.
She said, "Don't forget to say I do," which he forgot. You know.
Yes.
She's
That makes
there
sense because
checking
now-
in, and
yep,
now she's writing
okay.
in futuristic language, kind of
Futuristic
like.
language.
Well, that's
Fringe,
the
you know?
language. Well, when she's writing on the notepad, she's writing those symbols, and those were the
Right.
symbols that Barry wrote when he was
Right.
in that
Right.
trance.
When he was in that
The
trance.
future
Right.
is all geometry.
Okay.
It's
That's-
trapezoids. and
It's
stuff,
kind of
yeah,
like
That's what the
Kryptonian.
language is. You just
yeah,
write.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
Kryptonian.
Yeah,
It
Oh,
kind
I
of-
but that's
wasn't even
definitely who that
thinking
is.
about
Okay,
that.
yeah. That's our bad because I've read the comics too, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense now.
Oh.
But yes, but she was in the crossover, and
That's
that's,
right.
why when she popped up, I'm like, who the hell is this person?
Yeah.
Like randomly, and then
But there's
now
always
it makes sense.
whenever
She-
someone
she
has
could-
one line, there's always a reason why.
Oh, of course.
and that's
Oh, yeah.
why.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And she popped up, and I was like, okay, like, you know, you were talking about how he's going to get out of the legal thing. Maybe she's got some kind of future
Insight.
You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, here's a newspaper from 30 years from now that
Right.
kind of explains
But it's like,
exactly what
yeah,
happened.
and
or
it's
something.
also like she's so quirky and weird.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
the way she
yeah.
approached him, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, I loved it. When
it's
she
like-
showed
oh,
up
it
at
was
the,
great.
at
Well,
the crossover, the wedding, I was like, ooh, like here
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
little
Right.
bit- this
Yeah.
is just what we need, more time travel.
more time,
Right.
right?
Time travel's really good.
Welcome
in
to
the
Earth,
Flash.
whatever it is.
Whatever.
Earth
That's
Y.
crazy,
Like,
though.
Yeah, Earth Prime XZ.
Well, I
Yeah.
knew when you saw her writing the symbols that there was obviously some connection because
Right.
when Barry wrote it too. But,
yeah, so you
yeah.
kind of
That's
piece
interesting.
it together. But yeah,
But
I didn't think it was.
Do you really think that's who she's gonna end up being? Because they have
Possibly.
gone
No doubt.
gone
Yeah.
away from the comics sometimes in this show.
They have, but at the same time, they're still true to what's happening in the comics
Right.
versus, yeah.
They've gone away from the comics, but they're doing exactly what the comics say. That's what we say. No, I think she is 100% the daughter. I mean, as soon as she popped up at the wedding, I was like, who is, like, she seemed very out of place. And then
Right.
she kind of, just the way she said, don't forget to say I do. It's like, okay, this person obviously knows something about what's
Yeah.
going to happen, but she's
Yeah.
not a bad guy. She seemed to know that everything's going to work out. So I was like, it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be a speedster from somewhere.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
But it's like also it's not something that I paid attention to because
Yeah.
they were being
Yeah,
hit by
I-
Nazis, and I was like,
Right,
who
I
is this
didn't pay
girl? All right,
attention.
Right,
never
yeah.
mind.
I didn't pay
Like-
attention until this week's
Yeah.
episode. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
she's having a conversation with with Cisco and Ralph for like 5 minutes. There has to be a reason,
And then
she's writing in the
yeah,
book.
and then she's probably gonna bump into Caitlyn and
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, she'll
But
be a
what's
big
she
point.
trying to do though? Like, if she's
Eh.
trying to help, why wouldn't you
Who
just
knows?
go?
I don't know.
You
She
know?
probably knows the right time to do it, or something. Who knows? Yeah.
I do want to backtrack though to why are we missing? You know who Tom Felton is from Harry Potter?
Yeah. Where'd he go?
Where did he go?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Potter.
Potter?
what's his name?
Malfoy?
What's his name?
I don't know
in
what
the
I
Flash
forgot
though?
his-
I forget his name in the
forgot his
Flash.
name in the Flash.
Oh, Lucius Malfoy.
No.
I don't know. I can't remember his name.
But anyway, he was like,
he had a nice little redemption arc too. He
yeah, and
became a
was-
good guy.
He became a good guy. He was
Yeah.
in love with Caitlyn, and then
Uh-huh.
she went. She became Killer
What did
Frost, and
happen?
then he
Did she-
kind of just
I
left
think
the
he-
CCPD. Like I don't.
Yeah, he did. He left.
He left, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to take some time alone or something
Yeah.
like that. That's usually what the CW does with their shows when they don't want to say,
Yeah,
we're
they're
not
like-
having this character anymore. They
Plus,
just say, yeah, he's leaving."
Caitlyn said to everybody that I love dies. He might have been like, yeah, that's a good point. And he
I'm
might
gonna
have just
leave
left.
now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna leave, but I felt bad because I was like, oh, he's back. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so cool, and now he's not.
Yeah,
He's been
I
replaced by
honestly-
Ralph. Like I don't.
I know, yeah.
Ralph.
And Ralph's fun. Like I said, Ralph had a great.
It was
he
a
had
great intro to him.
Great intro, and what he said, groovy, little harken back to Bruce Campbell
Yep.
and Army of Darkness. I mean, there's a lot to like about Ralph. So he's going to be replaced. It's funny
He's
you say
gonna-
that because I hadn't even really thought about
Yeah,
him.
I was thinking
Yeah,
about
I
it.
honestly totally forgot about that.
I was thinking about it when I was watching Flash, and I was like, whatever happened to? And I can't even think of his
Yeah.
name now.
I hate
Yeah.
that I can't remember.
We'll think of it when we're talking
Right.
about something else. But anyway, so that's the
Okay.
wrap up of Flash. Are
That's
we
Flash.
cool with Flash?
Yeah, another
Anything
great
else?
episode, great season, and the greatest show.
Next week, I think Cisco and Ralph get like shrunk.
Oh yeah, they're like miniature.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
you
well,
didn't-
they the trailer.
It's
after
like-
the- yeah, they get
next
they
week
shrink,
on the
Yeah,
Flash.
I didn't see the intro. Yeah.
which we'll talk about next week.
We'll talk about that
Oh,
next
on
week.
this show.
Yeah.
Maybe.
so-
Yeah, we'll invite you
Captain
back.
it's
Adam
like Honey,
type
I
thing?
Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
wow.
Hungry. Yeah, it's like Honey
Yeah.
I Shrunk Teen
Yeah, yeah.
Flash. That's what the
Yeah.
episode's called.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
So, do we want to talk Black Lightning, or do we
Oh,
want
yeah, I
to
mean, it's
skip
been-
over that?
Let's touch on it.
Let's touch on it. I mean, there's been 2 episodes we've all seen.
All right, so I was never a huge fan of the comics.
Okay.
It's not something that I would like go to the comic book store and be like, "Oh my god, Black Lightning!"
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Is he
So
po-
I was kind of surprised when the CW picked it up.
uh-huh.
But
Is it a
I mean,
popular comic?
Because
I rarely
nah,
see it.
I mean, it's not like Flash or
Yeah,
like Green
right.
Arrow
Well,
and stuff
it's-
like that,
yeah,
but it's
original
like
four,
it's something that DC has in like their back pocket. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I keep saying, I think you disagree with me every time I say this, but do you know that was a
Damn,
good setup
I'm such
to
a
what
bad
I'm
person.
Yeah.
But
very
did you guys see
disagreeable.
Luke Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do think it's the DC TV show's version of that. It's about a gang. He has to go after the gang. It's in the streets. It's very hard.
Yeah.
And like,
But then again, you can't compare Marvel to DC because they're two totally different.
right, but you have
Aspects.
to. But sometimes Marvel and DC,
I see what you're saying.
one character will have
Yeah,
one, and
one-
then the other two. Oh,
Right.
you gotta do
Luke Cage
this.
was very different. I think it's going for that same kind of like community-minded.
Yeah.
You know, a guy who doesn't
What-
want to be a hero, but
Right. What I'm saying
reluctantly-
is like,
Right,
okay,
right.
perfect example.
Yeah.
Deathstroke in Deadpool. Deadpool, when Deadpool was created, the creator of Deadpool literally was like, Yeah, we copied Deathstroke a little bit.
And he was probably high the entire time
Right.
he was writing it. But
That's what I'm saying. It's cool. It's pretty cool, I guess. He's a badass.
He is a badass, and I love the actor who plays him. I forgot his name, but another CW show that he was in was Heart of Dixie. If you ever watched that,
okay, I've heard of that show.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah,
not that I've seen Heart of Dixie.
Not
but
that I've
You
seen.
can
recognize.
admit it, it's fine.
All right. I've watched a few Rachel Bilson episodes.
But he played like the mayor of this little small town in Heart of Dixie. But
right.
so now he's playing a superhero. I mean, I like it, but I was telling Chris earlier, like I wouldn't watch it every week and be like, oh my god, I'm so excited to watch it.
Yeah, they're smart to put it on after the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are gonna. Yeah.
Right.
Like, I think what we're all saying is that we wouldn't be as excited to watch that as opposed to like the Flash or Arrow or even Legends. I want Legends to come back sooner than it's coming.
It comes back
February.
a couple weeks, right? Yeah.
Mid-February.
Well, I want it back now, Chris.
Well,
to wait for it.
patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
So,
Black Lightning in the meantime.
But like the premise, you want to give a little premise of the background of Black Lightning?
yeah, so he was out. He quit being a superhero for like 10 years because his wife at the time, Len, I think her name is, was like, you can't keep doing this.
She's like, it's going to ruin our marriage if you continue to go out and save
And then it
people,
did. They got divorced, but he stopped for 10 years, and then this whole thing starts up again. Obviously, after 10 years, the gang called the 100 Gang is like really like awful, and it's like running the city. They end up taking his Black Lightning's kids. Black Lightning goes and gets them as Black Lightning, like the first time in 10 years.
And a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, the premise is that the 100 are actually ran by this guy Tobias that apparently Black Lightning tried to go after 10 years ago.
Tried to kill, failed miserably.
Failed. And then Tobias apparently thought that he was dead.
Right. A lot of people thought he was dead because he was on hiatus for so long.
And yeah, so Tobias is the big villain, which
it's hard.
But yeah, it's basically like a gang-related show. You've got two different gangs going on.
Yeah.
It's a black community, which I think is great to have in a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Dan was saying, it's a premise where he's a principal of a high school.
Yes.
He runs his own like community where it's like a safe zone, basically.
Yeah.
No gang or violence allowed. And then you have the whole other spectrum where it's like gangs and guns and like sex and drugs and all that stuff. And
you're right. It does remind me of Luke. Saying it out loud, it does remind me of Luke Cage.
It does remind you of Luke Cage, except like his power is lightning bolts and like
Luke's
versus like bulletproof.
Luke just walks towards you like Mike Myers.
But like, I mean, it's a good show where I would still watch it. Like,
I mean, we'll still watch it. We'll still talk about it.
But.
You got to give the early episodes a little bit of a break.
Right.
I was actually pretty impressed with the first episode. But these shows always mature over time.
Definitely.
Except for Flash, which was kind of right at the beginning.
Of course, even like but like this week's episode was, if I try to remember, it was just like more of the 100 and what's his name getting shot and the girl being prostituted. The woman's daughter.
One of the woman's daughter, and then she ends up getting shot.
She ends up getting
shot. They end up.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
They end up. Oh well.
No, go ahead.
They end up arresting.
Alerts,
they end up arresting that guy Lala, who works for Tobias.
Right.
He goes in the jail, and then Tobias. It shows actually at the end. This was the big like cliffhanger.
Big cliffhanger
was that Tobias goes into the police station just whatever.
Nonchalantly walks in.
Gets allowed into the jail cell where Lala is, and just takes him out.
Oh, interesting.
So now Tobias is in with the police, and so
and
now that's
can I
going to be a
just
thing.
like point out one thing? I do not like the actor who plays Tobias.
Why?
I just I don't know. No, like I don't know what it is. I just like not him as an actor himself, like his character. Like
his character.
I just can't get the whole concept of what he is and what like. Yeah, you seem so tough, and you're like you have your girl sidekick with you, but it's like
I don't know what. It would have been cool now that you guys are both on your phones. Are you kidding me right now?
We're not.
For the actor that plays Tobias.
Right now.
I'm trying to get the info that we want.
He's getting prepared. Sorry.
I
don't.
Oh, right.
Oh, so now
it's very interesting. I'll tell you guys about it later.
Oh, okay. Thanks
no,
for
I'm
that,
just kidding. It's, Marvin Jones III is his name.
Okay. He's been in a couple of other shows that I've watched. But I don't know. I just can't grasp. It's too early to tell because it's only episode 2.
Right, you gotta
It
give
would have
time.
been cool though if the main villain of Black Lightning was like a guy with superpowers, though. Don't you think?
I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
I get kind of tired of it, like, because whenever you have a superpowered villain, that it has to be the opposite, like the perfect antagonist version of the other person's superpowers. You
right.
know? So you
like
see that a lot. Where
Flash versus Flash.
this guy's got red arrows, or this guy's just he's like
true.
a few kilometers faster than the Flash.
Right.
And it's like, okay,
That's
like
true.
I think it's more interesting to have somebody who has got to use their brain.
What
to
I was
figure it out.
annoyed about, I told you, and this is for you too, because the first episode you don't know how Black Lightning gets his powers, and in the second episode you still don't.
Yeah.
Which that kind of
they will
me.
do like 10 years ago or like
I think
whatever.
They should have did that the first episode. I think.
Oh, see, I like that. I don't like to have all the I don't like to have all the backstory immediately. I like that to kind of trickle out.
Well, it's kind of like what they did with Arrow. They like separated it, like half of it was on the island and then half of it wasn't. And like, I don't know if like the CW itself wants to do the same kind of concept.
Yeah.
But at the same
you'd
time,
you'd rather have that, but just know exactly where he's coming from.
Yeah.
I just, at least in the first few, just like, because if you're just watching this show, if you just watch this show, it's like, okay, he has superpowers. That's it. It's like he doesn't really.
I mean, again, it's only episode 2, so
I'm complaining too much.
You're complaining too much, and it's only like.
Yes, I like a different approach. I get so tired of origin stories.
Right.
I just something different. I'll figure it out later, but I'm sure it's coming. I mean, it'll probably come in the next 2-3 episodes.
Right.
Yeah, and a little backtrack, but I think I showed you, Dan, the Dare to Defy the DC little clip.
Yeah.
We'll
Dare
have
to
show
live
you.
in ours.
We'll show you.
Defy your
But
world.
no, it's like how all the shows went on hiatus for a couple weeks for the
winter break.
Right. So they came out with this cool little teaser, and it actually had Black Lightning in it at the very end.
Oh, okay. It's not the one where they're getting suited up in the locker room,
Yes,
is it?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay. I saw it. Yeah.
So you saw that,
You
and
kidding
I thought,
me? I get that alert on my phone 2 minutes after it comes out.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And like just to have him introduce, you gotta wait for me to charge. And I was just like, this is great.
Yeah, that was
this
funny.
is awesome.
Yeah. No, honestly, I first saw it and I was like, "Who was that?" Like I had to kind of look up and then it occurred
Yeah.
to me.
But now that you watch the shows, you're like, oh, okay.
No, they do a great job with those little intros. They had
I love
Fight
them.
Club.
Oh my God,
ones
I
and
love
stuff. They were
them.
pretty funny. Yeah.
I love them.
They had a great one with Barry and Iris, where like Ralph accidentally hits the wrong button. Did you see this one?
I think so.
And they're on their honeymoon, and then like they rush
Oh,
in.
yes.
And he's like, "I'm sorry, like I actually just hit the wrong button." And she's like, "We were on a beach in Barbados." Like, it was pretty funny.
It's
Little
funny.
2-second clip. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of Black Lightning in a nutshell.
Yeah,
we can't
honestly.
really talk about it much.
I think it has a lot of promise. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah,
I should have
we'll-
watched the other episodes, but I had so much Arrow to watch, I didn't have time.
Well, we'll talk about it again next week too.
Next
Black
week,
Lightning.
episode 3. So we're moving on now to Arrow.
Oh, Arrow.
One of my
The
faves.
father of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Literally, that show. It's
Yeah,
just
so that was
amazing.
just on. So it's Friday. I mean, it was just on yesterday. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're getting immediate reaction to
We
this
are,
show.
and
Any opening thoughts?
first of all, we're on season 6.
Yes.
Kudos to season 6. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing.
I don't like the villain.
Yeah.
Caden James is just like
I'm kind of with you on that. I actually love Michael Emerson as an
he's
actor.
a great
Because
actor.
Lost, we talked about that.
I mean,
Lost. Oh, he was great.
He
in
was
Lost.
so good on Lost. His character went from a character they were only going to have on one season to being the main villain of the entire show.
Is that true?
I mean,
Was he only
that's how
supposed to
good
be
he
on
was.
one season?
He was supposed to be on 1 or 2 seasons, and they made him
Wow.
into
Yeah,
a
and he was the
huge-
whole thing.
But you're right.
good.
It's his character. He's almost just playing a maniacal version of what he was playing in
Yeah,
Lost.
and it's like out of
It's
all the villains you've had on Arrow,
yeah,
he's
the
probably the worst.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue against it because all he really does is just give a quick little one-liner and then press a button.
Right, a one-liner, and right, you're the
will
worst,
fall.
the best hacker of all time. Blah blah blah.
Well,
but
it's
like,
the whole
Yeah,
thing where it's
hacker.
not just him; it's the cabal, and you
Yeah,
got
but it
you
started
got
off with
Laurel,
just
who's
him.
probably
Yeah.
gonna turn. Laurel will probably turn. Well, the whole thing
Laurel's
now
a
is that
Laurel will
guarantee.
turn. Oh, and what's his face is definitely
Vigilante's
double agent.
gonna
Yeah,
turn.
yeah,
and it's like-
vigilante. He could be a triple agent.
that's why I said this to you. A
yeah.
triple agent.
Triple-
I think
triple.
I think that's. I
I
feel
think
like that's
so.
where it's coming from, or because Hacker Man is like he sees
Hacker
everything, but
Man.
not this guy like
Right,
trading.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't think so.
But I said this: a big turnaround would be if Caden turns, But you
no
see,
way.
No.
right? That's my bold, not
He's
going to
still
happen.
on a
prediction.
revenge kick of someone that Oliver never killed.
Right,
so
well,
it's like,
that's what
Oliver
what
definitely killed it. I don't know how it happened. Some arrow that
Well,
straight
he
arrow
says-
that went in somewhere, but it happened somehow.
Caden said that like you weren't meaning to, but your arrow ricocheted off and hit him.
But
which
then
it's
you have
like-
that whole thing where he wasn't even in the country.
Yeah, he
Right,
wasn't
right.
in the country. No.
So then who it unless it was like Ra's al Ghul or someone, or it could have been
Yeah.
Diggle.
Well, but my thing is,
I mean, like I
is-
don't.
Oh my God, the
Once-
possibilities! I don't know.
Seriously.
the possibilities. What's gonna happen? Or Roy. Jeez, throwback.
No!
Roy.
We love Roy.
Roy just disappeared.
I know. I liked Roy as like
I
the
did too.
sidekick arrow.
He didn't
and then-
disappear. He had to leave because
Right.
he was Oliver.
Witness
He
protection.
was Green Arrow,
That's right,
technically.
Green
so
Arrow.
Yes, yes.
get with it, people.
Yes, yeah.
But well,
It's
my
like-
thing is that once I know they couldn't do it this episode, but once they get the evidence that Oliver didn't do that to Caden's son, and they show Caden, I mean, like, is it going to be like, I don't believe you?
no,
and then,
I think he's still going to be on his revenge kick no matter what.
But even if he knows that like he
Yeah.
didn't do it,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think somehow Oliver did it, and we saw this last
Ooh.
season. But I think
That's
somehow
dark,
Oliver
man.
I
did
mean, let's
something.
be real. Oliver has
dark.
killed a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. I think he did it somehow. I mean, I don't
You
know
think
what
he
it's going to be.
A little kid? You don't think
Do we know
he
it's a
would-
little kid?
Well, yeah,
He just said it was
No,
his
he
son,
said
right?
his son. His son
Yeah,
could
but
be
he
like
said
in his 40s.
well, he talks about like his boy. He says like, "Oh, my boy."
Yeah, but like, what was
Walt. What?
It's kind of like Lost, little Walt reference. But I don't know how old the kid is, but I feel like it would be if it actually all leads up to, oh, you didn't like you didn't actually kill my son. Oh, I'm sorry. Like,
But it's
that's
also
not
like
what
the
it's
whole
going
thing
to.
with Prometheus. It's like he killed his dad, and now he
Yeah.
was on a revenge kick, and
Yeah.
it's like
Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if that's it too, that's kind of annoying because you just basically did the same things last season.
well, that's what I was
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
That's
I mean, that's
yes, yeah.
this
The only
season
thing-
is just like I love it, but at the same time, I'm like, really? And then the whole first of all, I have to go back. The whole premise with the two different teams now.
Oh my
I'm like-
god, I'm so
like,
annoyed.
you
Grow
guys-
up. I know it's a TV
Like,
show.
get on a
Can I-
conference
but
call.
go-
Just like,
like,
Yeah, get on
so
a car. Can I
annoying.
just? I'm gonna say this, and I don't care if people are offensive.
Oh, here we
but-
go. Here we go. Let's
No,
hear
no,
it.
I'm just
Let's
gonna
hear it.
say it's a pussy move.
Oh.
It really is because you have two teams now, which are pretty much doing the same
Doing
exact
the-
thing.
same
Yeah.
exact thing. They
Completely.
meet up at one point.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Oh, it's nice to have you guys back.
No,
Oh, we're
that's
not
so
back. We're
dumb.
gonna
I know.
go in our
So
little
stupid.
well, even this
Helix
last
lair.
episode, he's like, okay, well, you guys go ahead and go after him. I wish you good luck, and we're here if you guys need us. But
Yeah,
I mean,
God, if I was
Stop.
Oliver
Oh
Queen,
my
I'd be
God.
like, go.
it's like
yourself.
5
So annoying.
villains
It's-
against everybody.
Especially when it came to the point, it was not this week's episode, the last week's episode where Oliver got everyone together. He's like, I'm
Where they all
sorry.
split, yeah.
And then he apologizes for like the 10th time. Oliver apologized. And then it seems like,
Nope.
no way.
Yeah.
We're going to do
Sorry,
our own
Haas.
thing.
I just
Yeah.
miss,
Sorry,
yeah.
Haas.
Yeah.
I love that. I just miss the dynamic. But you know
It's-
who's really getting on my nerves right now?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Is Dinah. Dinah.
Dinah.
She
I
is
don't-
so annoying.
She's it.
No. This last episode.
Oh, I guess, okay, yeah, I can
Oh my
see.
God, Vince this, Vince that.
I
I'm
know,
like,
yeah.
get
I'm
over
not
yourself.
going to work
Well,
with
she
him.
was so
like-
against him, like, I would, like, you kill people, I would
Yeah.
never go that far.
Like,
and then
you do
that
that
is
every
true.
day.
That is true. Then the next week, it's, you meet me
Well,
for
he
a
gave
walk
us-
in the park. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
She's like bipolar.
Yeah.
Walk in
No,
the
he said
park.
that, like, meet
I know.
me for
Yeah.
a walk by the river.
Yeah,
She's
the
like,
two teams
okay.
thing is so
Yeah.
annoying, especially because the whole thing is like, oh, you didn't. Oh, remember this episode? They say like when Curtis, Renee, and Dinah were all together. He's like, oh, at least I can have a team I trust. I literally think
was like,
said
no,
out
you
loud.
really
I was like,
can't.
shut up,
Yeah.
stop,
Yeah.
please.
And I love their little layers, like, hey guys, like, it's all about the lighting.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
Hold
it's
your
all about the
breath. And it's got
computerized
the-
tech and everything.
Exactly. Like, where is this coming from? Like, huge systems, and then
Huge-
Do
a
you know,
little
do you know
in
the,
a warehouse.
Yeah,
It
the
looks-
real world me goes, how the hell are you paying that rent?
Exactly.
Or lease?
They're real.
It's
Because,
like Darkman or something, and then like
yeah.
it has like an old fan in the background. Like,
Like,
I mean,
Well, because
it's
that
a nice
was
set.
the one
but-
that the new Team Arrow, I guess. I don't know what they're
Yeah, well,
calling
it's
it.
the Helix
It's the
old
old
building.
Helix thing.
Yeah.
But my thing is, okay, the Arrow Cave is like actually like below the nightclub. It's in a secret thing. The Helix thing, isn't that just like you open a door and like you're in
Pretty
it?
much.
Well, that's what
So,
I mean.
like, that's
it's
not
open. It's open
hiding.
to the world. That's what bothers me about it. Somebody could just happen upon it and be like,
It's
"What
not
the
gonna
hell
last.
is
Oh,
this
what's
place?"
Is
not
this a
gonna last.
library? Like, what
I think it's gonna last.
The
I think they're gonna
Helix?
keep it. I think they're gonna keep it.
the two teams?
The whole set looked like. As soon as I saw it, I was like, like this looks like something that's meant to be permanent. You know, and
Really?
it worried me a little bit. And like I said, it's gonna be. they're gonna have two different objective or the same objective with two different teams, and they're geyonna be
You think
like,
they're
okay,
gonna have that
like,
the whole season though?
I do.
And probably until Caden James is like kaput.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Caden James. That's such a That's a tough name. Every time he says it, like Diggle says, like King James. Like it seems like King James, or I think
King
like,
James.
or like Raina James. Not that I watched
King
Nashville,
James.
but Nashville has a character named Raina James, who may or maybe she might have died. Maybe.
You didn't even. Yeah.
Well, she died.
She did.
But
so he does watch
spoiler.
Yeah, yeah.
Spoiler alert,
okay,
guys.
it's in season 6, and I've watched every one. Okay,
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, it's just not like Sonic was saying. The villain's just not working for me. I like that. As soon as I saw it was like a legion of bad guys.
Yeah.
I was a little bit more interested.
See, when I saw the Legion, I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
They did the Legion of Doom on Legends. You'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like,
those are real
okay.
superheroes.
Right.
Well, it's
Right,
Reverse
right.
Flash and
Yeah. I mean,
those were good villains.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like these, they're like one of them's already dead from this week's episode.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That guy. That's
Vincent
right.
kills him.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna take you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you out.
I'll take
Okay,
you
whatever.
with me. Oh.
And then the wannabe Italian mobster there that
That's right.
plays every bad guy in every show.
Yeah,
He's gone from
No, he's still alive, but
okay,
like where
they
did
only
he go? And like
right,
he's not gonna last.
Laurel
please.
wasn't there this week either.
Yeah,
but
what
she'll
the
be,
hell?
She'll be there next week.
You're not talking about the drug pusher
Yes.
Yes.
guy. Oh,
Yeah.
that guy. Oh, yeah.
Italian mobster.
Yeah.
Italian. Yeah, Kirk Acevedo. I'm not sure if that's Italian.
I
but,
don't, whatever. But he
He's,
looks.
he was on.
He's a mobster.
Yeah.
He was on Fringe. He was really good on Fringe.
Yes,
for a couple
that's
seasons.
yes. He was on
loved-
Fringe.
I loved him on Fringe. Yeah, Charlie.
But like he's gonna get blown away.
But are we still convinced that Caden is the main villain?
Well, yeah.
At this point, yeah.
At this point.
It's
We've
too
had
late.
twists.
It's too
There's
late.
been twists at the end.
but
Like I said, we talked about it a little bit before. I honestly thought that Oliver's son was going to be
actually
some kind of
Caden's.
secret villain. Not that he was like a mastermind, but I
Right.
thought maybe he was the son of Raina James, and he was going to be like, oh,
Caden James.
Raina James.
doesn't matter, King James, Raina James, King James. I thought he was gonna like. I really wanted it to happen because I was like, I need something
Well, that
in,
adds it
in
to the
this
story.
season to
That
kind of
adds
be a
to the story,
surprise.
right.
But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I would think it would be way too much. And
Well,
like
there has to-
Oliver Queen has enough.
But way too
crap.
much is Arrow's specialty.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. But like to bring his kid into something like that's a little extreme.
Oh,
I think.
see, I would love to see
Just a kid be a
Oliver.
villain.
Oliver
Like,
just
I don't
beating the
know,
hell out
but
of his
I
son in
do-
a fight. Like, he's
No,
some
I do
crazy
love
battle.
William though. I like
Right.
it when he's in the
No,
episode.
he's
not
definitely
bad.
that
Oliver's
kid
son.
is a really good actor.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's
yeah.
definitely Oliver's son, though.
Yeah, he's good at math. We know that.
But,
Yeah.
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 but another thing, kind of similarly to the Flash, what Arrow's doing is like, we know Caden wants revenge. He's got that huge bomb thing, right? I forget what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
But what is he doing? Is his plan just destroying Star City? Is that it?
Pretty
like
much.
we
I
don't
mean,
really know.
He's
Well,
got
that
like
was
a
the
nuke,
plot.
doesn't
Yeah,
he?
and he's
Some
got
sort of-
some kind of device. I don't remember what it was that
Well, yeah.
amplifies the bomb.
Because
like
There
100-fold
there
or
has to
something.
be some twist though. There has to be like
It's kind of
oh,
like what Merlin did in the first season, like
Right,
nuking the
right.
Glades.
Right,
But
right.
I think what he wants to do is nuke Star City.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that much hatred of Oliver Queen, he's just like, I'm gonna nuke
See, if that's
everything.
it, and it's just like he's just trying to destroy.
Yeah,
like,
boring.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
It's like been there,
Well,
done that.
right.
I think kind of like we were talking about with the Thinker and the Flash. I think it's going to be something a little bit more elaborate that we're not because
Right, that's what I'm saying, but we don't know.
we don't
That's what
know.
I'm
No,
Yeah,
you
and
don't.
like they said in this last episode, which I liked a lot, like he's had our identities for months.
Yeah.
Like, and he hasn't acted on it. That
I don't
just-
think he cares about that though.
But that's creepy. That idea is kind of creepy. That like the way you would think that would be the easiest way to
But
hurt,
it's but
hurt
like
the
he
whole
said,
team.
it's already happened.
Right.
Yeah, that's
right,
what he's
yeah.
like. Oh, I
So
think
why would
that's
I
a-
do it again?
Yeah,
Is
which
his
that-
Yeah,
thing.
but the other team, like the other team members, aren't outed yet. I mean, you could really ruin a lot of lives and
True.
everything by doing that.
Also,
Yeah.
how's that court going? Like, is he
That,
not?
I was just gonna
like,
say, speaking of that,
what's-
what happened to the FBI agent that
Yeah,
was all over
what's
his
go-
ass? Like, she
oh,
kinda-
yeah, she's like, I'm going back to DC.
yeah, she kind of like
Wait,
disappeared. It
really?
was like, okay.
She said that. She's like, I'm going back to DC, but I feel like
She'll
they're
be
gi-
back.
they're giving
But
the
I don't
season a little
understand
room.
because you realize it was a few episodes back. Oliver gets arrested.
Yeah.
And then he gets put on bail for like 20 million or what? No, 200,000.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
like 500,000
Felicity and
bond,
Curtis use their money that
Their startup
people
money
invest-
to,
completely,
which is
completely
totally
illegal.
You
Completely-
cannot do
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And they paid, and so Oliver's free, but he still has to like go to court and stuff. Why haven't like what's happening with that?
because he's the mayor, so
Months
he has
have
like
gone
leeway.
by.
They'll
like-
do that. Like it'll be
yeah.
kind of like the trial of Barry Allen. It'll be like the trial of Oliver Queen and
Right, but what I'm saying it's been taking so long. Like,
Yeah.
But I
Well,
think
there was only a couple
I also
episodes.
think it's because there's so much other crap going on in the city that
Yeah.
that they're just like,
that they're
oh,
just
the
like,
mayor.
well, we're gonna
Yeah.
wait and like.
You know, I thought it's disturbing too that there was that whole side plot of like, hey, could you just erase my police files, like erase all the evidence, the state's evidence that I've given about Oliver?
Renee.
With
Yeah,
Renee.
and that
That
was,
was
you know,
when that
they
happened.
didn't follow up on it a ton. They kind of like, I gotta
Did they
think
even
about
go
it.
through with it?
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
But when they were saying that kind of casually, I was like, that's pretty
Well, no,
blatant.
because
you know,
Renee said it, and Renee was
Yeah,
like,
but if you think about it, both of them hack into the FBI database like every day.
right,
so
but
it's like,
removing those, like, it just
right,
seemed like a
removing,
big,
obviously illegal
you know, thing
Well,
to be
but
like,
what I'm
at what
saying
point
is-
is it
didn't
justified?
didn't
you know?
Curtis say that they had like paper trails?
Yeah,
for
they
that,
have
so
hard
couldn't
copies.
He's like, yeah, they have
copy-
to
I can't do it, but
And-
I thought it was weird that they even approached it.
when
Honestly.
Renee said it, you're expecting Curtis to be like, dude, like you can't do that.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
Curtis is like, I got you,
Yeah,
man.
he's
I was
like,
wait,
terrific
what?
idea.
Like,
Yeah,
terrific. I got you.
yeah,
That was good.
Zing.
Oh, nice one.
What was the ending? of
So
Arrow?
the
What was
ending, where he wires the money to Kate and
Oh,
James.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like,
yeah,
what
He wires
up?
the money. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
I
really?
don't know, like,
After
what do
all
you-
of that, you end up wiring the money, which
I
you
had a
have
feel-
to wire now every day.
Right, every day.
I had a feeling
yeah.
he was going to end up wiring it too, actually, because
Yeah.
that's how.
Yeah, but at what point? You're not that rich.
Yeah,
Like, I
remember?
Well,
mean-
it's not his money though, right? It's the
It's the
city's money,
city's
right?
money, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
the
It's
whole
the
point's to
city
make the
money.
city go bankrupt.
Yeah, because he was like,
what a plan.
the city's going to go bankrupt. He was like, that's the plan.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
and is the weird voice
just,
he does.
just foster
Weird.
like a bridge or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't-
last season you literally had this insane madman going
Dude,
after you.
last season,
and-
Prometheus was like the shit.
And now it's like
It was cool because they would creep up to his house and he's like, yeah,
Yep.
come in. Yeah. It's like, oh, you meet my wife and kid? Yeah, I'm still going to kill you. Like, you know. Like, I loved, what's his name? That actor. He did such a good job.
That-
The
who's
main
he
villain.
Oh, Adrian Chase.
Chase.
No.
But-
I'm
oh,
sorry. I'm thinking of,
are you
never
thinking
mind.
of?
Never
Dark.
mind.
Oh,
I'm
you're
thinking of
thinking of
Damien
Dark.
Dark.
Oh,
I'm
Damien
sorry.
Dark.
brings
No,
him-
that's season
Yeah,
4.
He
but
brings him
Chase
in
was
the house.
awesome too. But yeah, I kind of like Damien Dark.
He
I know a lot of
brings him
people hate
into
that
the
season,
house.
but I thought it was cool that he was just
Well,
like,
we'll talk
was-
about
yeah, this is where I
the
live,
season
and you can
two.
No,
tell
it was like season 4 was a dark, pun
Yeah.
intended. It was a dark
Uh,
season, but it wasn't their best.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
we will talk about.
But it
our
was an
favorite,
Yeah, we
effort.
our
can get
favorite
into
shows.
that.
It was
now.
an effort to go back to what the
Right,
show was good
right.
at, which I
Right.
appreciated. Yeah.
But yeah, so wiring
But-
the money at the end of the episode, which didn't really leave you at a cliffhanger like
no,
it usually does.
wasn't really a
Um,
cliffhanger.
And I kind
I
of
don't
liked
know.
how I mean, this is a little bit off the topic, but Thea, I guess Thea had stuff to do
Yeah, she
in
comes
real
back.
life.
She came back. She's like,
So
oh,
it's
I'll
like,
do
oh,
this.
like,
She's
yeah.
like, oh, I have a life
Also,
outside of the mayor's
How
office.
does
Yes.
okay. Lance is
Love him.
the lieutenant mayor, which is like the vice president for the mayor.
Right.
And then Oliver's like, yeah, you're the captain of the police now.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
What?
that's because Frank dies, so
Right.
Right, but then-
naturally,
Which was a shame. I
Which
like
was-
Yeah,
I really liked
that
him,
was a shame.
yeah.
He
to
was
die
he was a good
electrocuted in an
character.
elevator because
Right?
some dork touches
Dude,
the
he was telling him, he's like,
screen
no,
and-
don't touch it.
I
And
know.
then-
I
it's so
know.
stupid. But if you think about it, Lance is now the captain because he used to be that.
Right.
Right,
No,
right.
I was
So
just
it's
I
like-
was just poking fun at how fast it happened.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
But
oh, hey,
like-
now you're the captain.
You're like,
No.
yeah, now you're the captain. But he
Lance
was
is-
like, okay, fine. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do
Right.
because I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that whole part made sense.
So we get a lot more of Lance's. I don't know what that accent is that he always puts on, but
Well, he's English. You know that.
oh yeah. Now I'm talking about on the show, whatever
Oh,
accent
well,
he's putting on.
It's
like,
hard. It's
That's
hard
the
to.
Star
Son of a
City.
shit.
It's the
It's
Star
really
City
bizarre.
accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
his
it's
own,
right,
it's his
yeah.
own
It's the
tongue.
Star-
bizarre city accent.
All right, so again, TV couples here. So we're talking Oliver Felicity.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing good. I think.
They are
I
doing
think
very well.
Felicity is pulling off the stepmom thing perfectly.
She really is.
I really
like it.
do. She's smarter than Oliver. She always.
Chris is like, I
Why do
don't
you
know.
hate Felicity?
I feel like her act's gotten a little bit tired. I think the actress
her
does
whole-
such a no. I mean, honestly, she does kind of like what she kind of reminds me of what Iris I think is trying to copy on The Flash, which is she has like a very quirky but fun delivery of lines
Felicity
and,
did
and
it
keeps
first.
things
Yeah.
very interesting. Oh, absolutely. I mean, believe me, when Felicity first started becoming big on the show, I was pretty excited. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like this
Right.
actually has like a really
So,
casual
yeah,
atmosphere to it.
I do have a fun fact about that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
So the girl Emily Beckett Rickards who plays
Bet
Was it
yeah.
Rickards?
yeah
Oh.
who plays Felicity
Yeah.
Smoke. She was only casted for that one episode for that scene
Wow.
Where she
And-
like decodes that thing.
where
he
she
gets
like
to-
he gets the bullet she gets a bullet laptop and like looks up all
Right.
the stuff.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
So apparently she did such a good job with that whole scene that Stephen Amell, who plays Oliver Queen, was like, she needs to be on the show.
Wow, that's crazy, actually.
So then
he wrote himself out of the show at that point.
No.
He's
like, I'm out.
It shifted the whole
No, so
paradigm.
he was like so impressed with her that he was like, she needs to be on the show.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you've read the comics, Felicity Smoke is not really a character in the comic book.
Diggle isn't either.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Diggle's
that's what I'm
not
saying.
either,
Like he becomes. Yeah.
Plus, some of us kind of love the Arrow and the Canary. That's when I think of
I mean,
Arrow.
yeah,
That's all
you
I
think
think
of that,
honestly.
of course.
That's what I was
but like
waiting
they're
for.
taking a whole turn. But yeah, that was like a huge factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, that's pretty amazing. Like I said,
Yeah.
we were talking about that with Michael Emerson and Lost. Like people that are that good at they do it. That's impressive.
Yeah, especially like
And I guess I
one
certainly don't hate
episode.
Felicity.
Yeah, after one episode, he was like, she's staying for good.
Yeah,
And they
seriously.
were like, okay. And now it's like they're married.
Yeah.
It's like a love interest. But I think that was cool. But no, I think she does a good job. Yeah, she's kind of like quirky with Overwatch and everything like that. But as like now the wife and stepmom of William, I think it's a good mix.
Can I tell you, I didn't even like think about her being like William's stepmom until she said it in the episode.
Said it.
Because I was like, wait,
Yeah.
wow, that's actually like true.
It's
Like,
true.
Yeah, I didn't really think of. I mean, I
That's
guess
what
it
I'm saying,
occurred to me when they had the scenes with like Math, and she was already being like, "Oh yeah," like she was
But
like,
she
I could
said
use
it
some help.
yesterday,
He's like,
and I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Probably my least favorite proposal on
Oh my God, the
on
worst.
any media I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, when
worst.
she does at the end of the crossover.
Barry and Iris, their wonderful moment there. I'm serious. It
Yeah,
was a
but-
nice moment, and then she's like, "Wait,
Marry us too.
marry
Like,
us
what?
too." I
I
was
mean,
like,
I
"Get
get
outta
it. I
here."
get it because like she said no the entire time, and then all of a sudden she changes her mind. But did you
But
see
that's not her
Iris's
moment.
face?
Yeah,
She was
Iris nailed it.
pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I would have been too.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
honestly, even me, like, if I
Yeah.
was marrying a girl and it was like, hey, marry us too, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
there goes the moment.
You're like, thanks. Good
There
thing I didn't
goes the
pay
moment.
$1,000 for like the guy to marry us.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Like,
But at
some-
least it was, like I said, I
It
love
was
Diggle.
Diggle.
Diggle's maybe my
Yeah.
favorite character in all of the shows. I think Diggle's just fun and he's nice and he's
Diggle's awesome.
incredibly ripped. He's like
Seriously,
he's
he must
growing
be
in
at the gym like every day.
he's growing in mass. Like it's ridiculous. I
He's
saw him last night in
growing
some of the
in
episodes and he
mass.
looks huge.
Yeah.
He's big.
He
He's
looks
big.
huge. Like I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
That's what happens. All the cast members work out together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even recognize
No.
them from yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I have a salmon ladder at home, but I don't show it off. Like
Oh, I
like
would
these
love
guys.
the salmon ladder. Be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to do one, but that's all right.
Mine's got
Um,
like 2 pegs. Yeah.
yeah, whatever. But I think that Oliver and Felicity have had chemistry since day one.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
undoubtedly. Yeah.
And they're probably, I mean, they're one of my favorite TV couples because they're just so well put together.
Uh huh.
And they still care a lot for each other. Like, you can see the romance in them even when they're, like that last scene when they're sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And she's like all over him and he's like all over her. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't see that with Barry and Iris.
Yeah,
You
Barry-
see it. You see it all the time. Barry put his
No,
hand through a pane of
no.
glass just to
Oh,
touch his
no.
wife.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Oh, God.
That was
I had to
dumb.
rewind. I
The
couldn't see
cam-
it through my tears.
The,
I was like,
the
man.
camera's right there. How did they not see that?
No, he had to turn. He like looked at the camera and was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
Are
now
you
Like,
is my
watching
time."
these episodes? Yeah, exactly. Like the Flash. I mean, the one thing
Okay,
when
that
she
was cute, but like,
it was cute. It was cute. The kind of cute that Oliver and Felicity would never
no,
construct.
Oh.
but
no. Well,
There
no.
was the whole. I mean, I don't want to get off topic with the Flash, but there was that whole weird scene when I keep wanting for this to happen. That it's such a nuisance for these characters to have normal lives on top of their superhero lives. You know, Iris
Right.
rushes into the courtroom to say, "Hey, Barry's the Flash,"
right.
and this is where the Speed Force comes in, the all magical Speed Force.
Yes.
Suddenly,
That
he
was
slows
an
time
awesome
down.
scene.
That was
It was
That
an
was-
awesome scene. It took about 2 minutes. I mean, Barry was going faster than Savitar, whoever. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
That was
he's
crazy.
never achieved this before.
That
but-
was actually
Yeah, and
pretty
you know what
crazy.
goes through my head? Damn, all those After Effects that you had to do.
That's right, yeah.
All the like
Yeah, that's
CGI
right.
work that goes
like
behind
a
that
team
one
of editors.
scene.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's the
They used
editor
all
in
their
me.
budget on that one scene.
Yeah.
Jeez, but no, that was a great scene. But
Yeah.
yeah, their chemistry is fine. Like when I define chemistry, it's like Iris and Barry are cute.
Yeah.
They're a cute couple.
Yeah. I get
Where
that.
Oliver and Felicity are like in love
Yeah.
and like out in the open, romantic, like all over each other kind of love. Whereas Barry
guess I don't
and
see what
Iris
you're
aren't.
saying.
You know what I'm
I see what
saying?
you're saying, yeah.
I honestly don't. I see it as
You'll see
kind of.
it.
I see it as kind of similar. No, I've
honestly, though-
I've seen it.
You'll see it.
I've seen the scenes. I don't see
Barry
it
and
at all.
Iris, sometimes it's a little awkward.
It
Yeah, that's what
is.
I'm
It
saying. Like,
is.
I see what Sonic's saying. Like, sometimes it's like,
Chris, you're gonna watch it now. You're gonna be like, oh,
yeah.
okay,
Like,
now I get
sometimes,
it.
like,
No,
Barry
I-
says stuff to
Yeah.
Iris, and
Honestly,
they talk,
like
and
there's
it's
a lot of times when Oliver comes in, he's deadly serious, and she makes a joke, and like people have just died, and I'm like, that's like the wrong time to make
But
a quip.
it's also he's so used to her like
I know,
saying
but
all those
wouldn't-
shitty
I
things
just,
that
I
it's like,
keep
oh, whatever.
thinking in like a real marriage, you would be like, could you just shut up for
In
a
a
second?
real
Like,
marriage.
There's 10 people dead behind
I
me.
think he
like,
does
you
it
know.
like in his eyes and the way he stares at her. He's like, really?
No, of
Really?
course. I mean, that's the joke with Oliver. Like his reactions are basically just like a stone face,
Right.
no matter what's happening.
Yeah.
But
And
like I said, it's not that I hate the couple. I just feel
No.
like they're very similar, Iris and Barry and
Well,
Oliver.
everyone has their own opinion. I'm sure our listeners will have their own opinions
yeah,
about
they'll
that too.
they'll agree
Yeah.
with me
Yeah.
and Sonic, probably.
Yeah.
No.
And-
No, I
You
I
can't
think
say that.
there's
I'm
a lot
sure
of
there's
people.
a lot of what do they call it now? Ship.
Actually, shippers. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
the
people that
shippers.
hate the.
What is
the
this shippers?
Like
I
I love this
Relationship
couple.
Oh, I
people,
ship that.
relationship,
Okay, yeah.
like-
No, there's
yeah.
there's plenty of.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of
Felicity hate
shippers.
online.
Oh,
and
yeah,
there's
no,
plenty
I
of
know.
Felicity
Really?
love. But,
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, I mean it's in
Right, I
every
mean, it's
show.
gonna come with anything, right?
Yeah,
obviously.
it's in every show.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week's of Arrow episode was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Intense.
I liked it a lot.
I liked it too.
Obviously, we all agree. I mean, the villain is decent, I guess.
Yeah, but we'll see where it turns.
Yeah, there's gonna be some twist. I honestly have no idea what it'll be, but
Well, we'll
Yeah.
have to find out. And
Yeah,
next
I
week will be
really-
something else. So.
I wonder if the bomb's really a red herring. It just seems too
What do you mean?
tired. That he's got a bomb that's gonna blow up the city and everything. I feel like even the writers of Arrow know like they can't go there again. They can't do
Again,
the
yeah.
same.
that's what I'm
thing.
saying. There
It
has to
seems
be
like a
something
big distraction.
else.
Yeah,
There has to be
it
something
does.
else.
It does, yeah. But
well,
we'll see.
if you remember back when they had to hack, they went into some like technology place where Felicity put her fingerprints all over the keyboard.
Yes.
And Kaden James was like, "Oh, we're gonna frame her for something."
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I feel like maybe they're gonna go back to that somehow and see if
Well, that's a good.
she
that's
is a
good
hacker
memory.
too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna tie into that. But
Yeah, I don't
then
know.
again, I like key in on those little key factors, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what if this happens? What if that happens?
Yeah. No, but they wouldn't put that in there unless it has some kind
Right,
of point.
right.
You would think they wouldn't.
All right, so that's Arrow.
That's Arrow.
Yeah.
And now, last but not
And,
least, it's Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, Legends wasn't on this week.
No,
Yeah.
but,
But it'll
we
be
can
back soon.
still,
It will be
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I want it to come back soon because
It'll
I
come
liked
back.
it.
Uh-huh.
But I honestly can't remember the last thing that happened in Legends.
Well, oh, how could you not remember?
What is it?
Stein dies.
No,
and
no,
then-
but there
and
was an
then-
episode after that.
Yeah,
though.
and then what's his name leaves. So
Jax
there's no
leaves.
Jackson
Oh, that
leaves.
was so sad.
now
I
there's-
saw
there's
Stein's
no
death because that
Firestorm.
was in the crossover.
That was in the
That was in
crossover.
the crossover.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
now
so
there's no
sad.
Firestorm because Jackson is gone.
Yeah.
Which Firestorm was probably my favorite superhero
Yeah.
in Legends
Really?
too. Like,
I like Victor Garber, the old man, the actor there.
um,
The old
which
man
one?
version of Fire.
right. That's what I mean.
Oh,
Firestorm as
Yeah, Firestorm
yeah.
as a whole. Yeah. Even
Yeah,
though-
that was dude. When Stein died, that was so
I
sad.
like legit cried.
That was so sad.
I
Why
think I
they
went to the
do
fridge to
that?
get salsa. I was like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Oh, because you have no idea what
I
we're talking
have to
about.
watch. I've
He needs
seen
to
a
catch
decent
up on
amount of the
Legends.
first season, but I need to watch the second
Yeah,
season.
so Chris is not caught up on Legends, but
Uh,
but no, I like was. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that I do cry some episodes.
oh, I do too.
But like this one was
Oh,
a
yeah.
complete shocker. But then again, I think it's because the actor wanted to do something different.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's why you get killed off
he's
in
a
the show.
big actor. I mean,
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's
like
from Titanic.
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
maybe one of his bigger
okay,
roles, but yeah, he's
okay.
he's in
Yeah.
films.
And then, the next episode. So the last episode of the mid-season finale was what Jax wanted to try and get him back. So he went back in time to try and
Right,
tell his younger
and
self.
his younger self was like, "You can't do
that
that."
was
like,
sad.
Oh,
When he
like
was
a-
talking, he
Yeah,
was
that was
like,
sad.
"It's like you gotta let it be and stuff." And I
That's
was
the
like,
plot of Back
"Oh."
to the Future, by the way.
Yeah, kind of.
Right. Well,
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
They get.
Well, I'm just saying.
They kind
From an outsider looking in, it
Right.
sounds like Doc Brown.
No, yeah. I mean,
figured,
it is.
what the hell? Yeah.
It is.
Doc and
But like, yeah,
Marty.
he tries to save pretty much his best friend and his
Yeah,
dad,
that's
his
why
role
it's
model.
so sad.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very
Because he didn't
sad.
have a dad growing up, and he was kind of like a father figure to him.
Yeah,
Mm.
but like
Yeah.
we don't know if Jax is gonna come back or not because
Yeah, because they said he needed time and
he
stuff.
needs time, but at the
which-
same time, it's like he doesn't have a superpower now. He's just a mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got
That's-
to get. I mean, he'll get. I thought there was some kind of trade-off. He has some other gift, like he can take a vial or something. Do I remember that from the crossover?
Right, but that didn't end up
Yeah.
That didn't
working.
happen. Oh, okay.
Well,
All right, well, I
because
missed
the
that.
vial was for him to
To go
split
to split.
so that they wouldn't have powers anymore.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay.
And so he took the vial. He didn't have the powers anymore.
But
so
didn't he
that
come to him
could be
afterwards and say,
alive.
like, hey, I got this thing that'll also give you some different powers, right?
Oh, yeah, but it
but
ended
I
up-
don't think
He said he wasn't going to do it, but...
because he wanted Stein with him.
Right,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
wouldn't have been like Firestorm powers. It was something like
It was something
really
stupid,
weird.
right?
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
like a
something
weird-
dumb.
He could, like, make Legos in, like, 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, something like
Something.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
something
like he
stupid.
could like climb on
Like a
walls
cheetah.
Yeah,
He was
something
some
like
sort of a
that.
cheetah.
Oh,
It's so
really?
stupid.
It was something that he was just like, no,
Well, but do you
not doing
think-
that.
Okay, all right, I would
Do
have
you
watched
think because at the end of the mid-season finale, Jax
And
leaves,
these are spoilers. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
but-
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
Jax leaves and he's like, I need some time to myself. Do you think he's gonna end up coming back?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean,
Because he was a good character.
he's a great character, and I would say yes, but I don't think maybe in this season.
Okay. And then
Wow,
also
playing the long game, really.
Yeah, I
playing
mean,
the
I
long
don't,
game.
I don't know, because you've introduced the whole Time Lords.
Yeah, and also Rip
Being
leaves,
like
or is
somewhere.
in jail.
He's in jail with
yeah.
the Time
And
Lords.
again,
Is he in
spoilers.
time jail?
Yeah,
Time jail.
I guess.
This is the plot, the Time Cop.
Kind-
Stop
yeah, yeah.
naming other things.
No,
No, I'm just
This is
saying.
good, this is good. He's
I'm just
like-
saying, like, seeing it from the outside, I can piece
Yeah,
all
you
together.
can
Yeah.
put it all together.
Time
Yeah,
Cop.
so I
So
don't.
you have all of that, and then you have him leaving, and then you have what's his name coming back,
Snart. Well,
Snart.
from another Earth, Snart.
Captain Cold, as not himself at all. Like,
Right, it's
So
not
he
the
just
season.
died. Yeah.
Right, it's
It's
not
not-
the
it's not
season
the one-
one Snart.
right.
It's the guy from a different Earth.
Yeah,
and
he's more flamboyant and,
and-
cares about people's
Yeah,
feelings.
he like cares about like he tries.
Is he the
to,
Snart from the crossover?
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So that's the
Yeah.
one, and I knew right when I
just
saw
so
him, I was
weird.
like, they're gonna end up putting him on Legends.
Yeah.
And then, which is fine.
Which is
but,
fine, and he's
he's so different from the season one Snart because like this Snart, in the last episode,
caring.
he tries to do like therapy sessions
my
with
God.
all of them,
It's hilarious.
Sounds fun.
and he gets Mick to stop drinking.
Oh my
too.
god! And Mick's just like, I can't do
Yeah.
this anymore. I
Yeah.
gotta drink a beer every episode.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of beer that Mick goes through is just hilarious.
I remember one time he was drinking. He's like, and then someone was like, "It's 10 in the morning."
He's like,
and you're
yeah.
drinking a beer.
So he's like, I haven't stopped drinking, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I freaking love you. And like some of his side quirky comments are just, it
Yeah.
makes me laugh so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
I
he
love
was
him.
good in the like I said. All I have to
Oh,
go is a
yeah.
crossover, but at
Right.
the wedding and stuff.
And
he
he's
was
got
pretty
like
fun.
this shitty ass tiny gun, and he's just
Yeah.
like, get out of my way.
That's the thing. I mean, this guy would get wrecked. I feel like in a major
God.
fight, he's
Yeah.
just got flames coming
he
out.
has
I'd be
the
like, somebody
heat
take out the
gun.
guy with the little dingy gun.
with the flamethrower, basically.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny with all of their so-called powers combined. It's just like
Yeah.
you have the
Well,
captain
so-
who's League of Assassins.
Yeah,
and a
which
badass
is
chick.
again, that's another thing. Just like Iris, I don't know why Sarah was just put in charge. I don't know.
Oh, is that what's going on? Okay.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know.
I like Sarah, but like I said,
Spoilers.
she goes back to a
So
lot
yeah,
of the,
if you don't
other
know,
shows.
spoiler, like Rip leaves and
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, and Sarah kind of takes over.
blah,
Yeah,
blah,
from
blah.
what
But
I
if
had
you
heard,
think
a lot
about
of
it,
people.
she's the most like predominant
Right, so
badass like in
her
charge
ta-
Yeah.
person.
Her
Yeah.
taking over, I guess, makes more sense than Iris. Iris taking over makes no sense to me.
It should have
Um,
been Caitlyn,
Yeah,
but
well, nobody's talking about Iris. All right, leave
We're-
Iris
no, no, no.
alone.
Leave Iris
but I
alone.
think Sarah was the best fit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she has her flaws. League
Yeah.
of
Who else
Assassins
would
and-
take over?
Well, that's the thing. You have
Mick.
Because I mean,
No.
she's from the League of Assassins.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
Right.
That's who I would want in charge.
right.
Right, no, that's what I'm saying. But
That's
with
a
that,
pedigree.
there's some flaws because obviously she did some bad shit.
Well, yeah,
It's
they
like-
all
yeah.
did though. If you think about
Um,
it, one's from the future, kind
Well,
of.
not Ray.
Well,
Ray's
yeah,
the goody-goody
Ray's
of the
the
whole
goody-goody.
group.
Oh, I forget Ray's on that show.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
Ray's
were
on-
talking about miniature characters, but for the Flash,
No,
For the-
yeah, for the next
in
episode.
the
Well,
next
that's the
episode?
next episode, yeah.
that's got to have something to do with Ray, right? That's his.
I don't know what
No.
happens.
No? No,
I forget
nothing?
what happens.
No,
I didn't see
Ray
the
can like have a shrink ray, but like
No, but for Flash in the trailer,
oh, I don't,
why?
I don't,
we don't know why he
Yeah.
would shrink.
I watched it so
Uh,
briefly, but
Oh, okay, well.
no,
but-
but Ray is not a good leader.
No,
No,
he couldn't.
Ray
be
He
a
was
leader.
he was a great owner and a CEO,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, so what do we have for the Legends right now? Like as in characters,
we have Sarah, we have Ray,
Mick,
we have Mick.
Leo Snart.
Leo Snart. We have I forgot the chick's name that's from.
Oh yeah, with the stone thing.
Justice League.
Yeah,
with the stone thing. I don't.
Whatever
Amaya.
Whatever she
Amaya?
thinks of, she can have that power.
Yeah,
like
Amaya.
she turn into a bear if they're attacking a bear.
What's
I
her
remember her from the
superhero
comics.
name?
I can't remember.
I forget her
though.
name.
Yeah.
No, not
We're
Vixen.
so bad.
She used to go up
No, it's
against
not Vixen.
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll come to us.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
okay.
the other one with the historian, what's his name?
Oh,
He's new for season 2.
Okay.
So I don't think he's been introduced with season 1.
you've probably seen him in crossovers though.
Yeah,
he was in a
you've seen
crossover.
He's like the pretty boy with the spiky hair.
the historian. Why I hate that I can't remember these names.
Well, I know. I can't even think of his name.
Red.
Well, once the show comes back, you guys will.
I know.
You haven't seen
I'm
it. You haven't
just
seen it in a month or so.
Drawing a blank. And then it was Firestorm with.
Firestorm.
Yeah. With
Well, and then that
Stein.
other girl with the stone.
Yeah, she's
thing.
new.
Yeah, she's new this season.
she's new this season too.
But
I like her.
The plot is still going throughout history and writing things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I do have to say it does change a bit from season 1.
It
Yeah.
does.
And
I
that's
wasn't
not
digging
necessarily.
season 1.
No,
I don't need, like-
I'm saying that's not necessarily good for season 2 and 3 because I really liked season 1.
Yeah.
Because we're in 3 right
3.
now.
This is 3.
Season 2 is good because you had Reverse Flash, you had Merlin, you had Damien Dark coming back.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Are you on
Leopard.
season 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched most of season 1. I think I have like 2 episodes left, and I have to do season 2.
Yeah, so season 2 is where I think is probably the best out of all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll go into that when picking our.
Yeah, we could do that.
And it's Eobard Thawne.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Not looking like
yes.
What's his name from the Flash? Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
actual
Thawne.
He's
Thawne.
not as
Thawne.
hairy. He's as himself.
That guy's a good actor too.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good. As an actor.
But I've always loved Malcolm Merlin, so I was happy that he was
Merlin's
back.
awesome.
Even though he was evil, I was happy that he was back.
Merlin was awesome.
Yeah.
Everything with Merlin and Thea.
Jack
I loved.
Barrowman, I freaking love him. I just love him.
Well, what's going on now in Legends is the evil thing. We don't even know what it is. Mollusk or something.
Oh yeah.
And
oh my
like
God, I
Sarah
forgot about
gets
that.
well that's what I'm
Mollusk.
saying.
She
Sarah gets into that other
taken
dimension.
into like another dimension.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing?
There's a lot of weird things going. Yeah, but then she comes back.
Yeah, she comes back.
She like goes off for a split second and like sees this whole different dimension and then comes like
And
it's
it's
reeled
supposed to
back
be
in.
I like that. All right, I like that stuff. Yeah,
it's supposed to be this evil, which is supposed to be apparently the main villain is Mollusk, but we don't
Mollusk.
even know if it's like a person or just a thing.
From like an evil dimension.
Yeah.
It's kind of I'm gonna gear off towards DC, but it's kind of like what they're doing in Supernatural right now,
Oh, okay.
where there's like different dimensions, where there's like a line in the universe, like a tear,
Yeah.
where someone can jump through and go to another universe.
Okay.
The upside down.
Yeah, it's like Stranger Things. It's
Yeah.
like Supernatural's doing that now, but of course
That's a
Supernatural's
big
like,
sci-fi concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah,
that's
so
the plot, the Event Horizon.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
here he goes again.
Here it goes again.
So I just feel like
tail it
that's what they're doing is like, because now there's like Earth, how many Earths, and then
Like
Earth X,
52.
and then they introduce like a whole nother dimension. So
off. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's going a little sci-fi, which is cool because I love.
No, that's fine.
love
I
that.
like the sci-fi part of
I
all the
do.
DC shows. Yeah, so that comes back mid-February or
Mid-February,
something like that. So.
I love
so
the
yeah, we
alternate
can't-
universe, different
Yeah.
dark universe
Yeah.
type thing.
And
Even
I
Star Trek's doing that.
Right,
I love
and
all
I
that
do
stuff.
love
Yeah.
how they have a ship to go back in time and stuff, which
Yes.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, which is like a combination of like the Millennium Falcon and like the
And,
Star Trek.
Star Trek and all
It's
that
like
stuff.
all that.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, so we can't really recap anything because
Yeah,
it's not on
Yeah.
currently.
We'll recap. We'll do like a recap the week before it comes back. We'll
Yeah.
talk
I mean, we
more.
just talked about it, but we'll do a
Yeah.
refresher, as we say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I look forward to that. I'll have to be caught up by then.
Yeah, but like switching gears now. So since we did a recap, we are going into what? Talking about
Do you want
one
to talk
of our
about the favorite seasons per show?
favorite
Absolutely.
seasons.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
So start off with.
Well, you can't do Supergirl because you
You
haven't
guys
seen
can
any.
do Supergirl. Which one's your favorite Supergirl season, guys?
So for me, it's season 2
Season 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
by far. I mean, season 3 is great, but it's not
Yeah.
over yet, so I don't really know. But for me, season 2, because it introduces Mon-El, it introduces, kind of more of her parents
Mm-hmm.
and also Alex and
Yeah.
her sexuality and stuff like that. So
I was so impressed how they did the sexuality, part of that in that season. They treated it so normal. It wasn't
Right.
like, oh my God, I'm gay and like,
yeah,
let's talk about this. It was like, like I've known this for a little bit while. Like I'm gonna come out and I kind of like this girl and we're gonna have a relationship. And it was just like, over the course of a couple episodes, it was just kind of normally handled. And
Right.
they didn't make a big deal.
No.
I like that a lot.
I did
I
too.
really did like that. And I also thought it was cool. They're always going to that bar. You know,
Yeah,
they had all like the aliens
alien
and
bar.
stuff. That's pretty cool.
It's
you
pretty
know.
awesome. But yeah, so season 2 for me. What about you?
Yeah, you're kind of convincing me on season 2 because I did like the way it developed. But the first season, I liked because of the reveal of Martian Manhunter, which was
Right.
just such a shock for me that like, oh my god, like Supergirl has Martian Manhunter in it. Like I got to watch this show. And I thought they did a good job of developing Kara as like completely different from Superman, like definitely comparable in power, but they did a good job handling her want to be a normal person, you know, with Catco Media, along with her being a superhero reluctantly. I had a lot of fun with that, and they had a lot of touches on Superman, like, you know, mythos and everything, making a lot of calls out, things you would only, at least for me, because I never read Supergirl, like that I only know through Superman. So it's season 1 for me, but season 2 right behind it, because season 2 just made it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hail season 2, Supergirl.
It's a good show.
All right, so
Honestly,
I'll
if you-
skip season 1. And
No,
then
no,
just-
no. You gotta watch the whole thing.
You should watch. Like honestly, it's a decent show. There's a lot of times where
No,
I thought
yeah,
it would be
yeah.
unbearable that it's not.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right,
check it out.
so moving on
So
to Flash.
we go to the Flash, Chris. You
Woo!
wanna,
This is your baby,
let's-
Chris. So
let's-
which one?
Oh my God! To pick favorite child.
one season.
Because we're on what, 4?
This is 4.
Season
so you
4,
Pick from
yeah.
3.
Okay.
I mean, no doubt, season 1. I still miss. I can't think of his name because I always think of him as the Reverse Flash. I still miss
Harrison.
Harrison Wells. Yes, thank you, as the
HR?
Reverse Flash, because
HR.
there were a few moments in that first season, especially there's one where he kills Cisco, you know, and
Oh,
obviously
that's
it's
right.
not
Yeah.
going to last, but it was this beautifully done moment where you kind of realize that, you know, this image that they had of the Reverse Flash, like Cisco goes downstairs to like try to figure out what's going on, and he sees it's kind of just like a recording.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Harry shows up, Bad Harry, and he starts doing his little, you know, mirror image thing.
Yeah.
Where you see 2 versions of it, and he's like, you know, you're like a son to me, but to me, you've been dead for centuries. Like, whoosh, and just kills him.
Right.
And then
That
Barry
was-
goes back in time, and then Cisco stays alive.
I loved that. That's
season
maybe
I mean,
my favorite
was
part of any of the
crazy.
shows.
Season
was-
1 was really well done. And
It
I
was.
think that captures everyone's attention is obviously season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
There was
And
a lot going on.
nods with Gorilla Grodd, you know,
Yeah.
which like I said, I'm a big fan of the Flash, like the Rogues Gallery and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
even to see people like that pop up, I was like, they're just doing everything that I want to see. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed season 1.
Season 1 was good.
because a lot of the other seasons are just like, this guy's faster than me. This guy's faster than me. Like, that's
the
not
whole
that
Zoom-
interesting.
The whole
Yeah.
Zoom
Right. The
thing.
Reverse
Zoom and
Flash, it's like a
Avatar.
personal thing.
Yeah, and
'cause-
Zoom was played by a great actor, and that was
Yep.
really interesting,
Yeah.
you know. But the Reverse Flash, the guy has the best backstory. He's a big fan of the Flash from the future, goes back in time to the Flash Museum, and then finds out that he's actually a bad guy. Like,
Right.
what better origin story could you have
Right.
for a
That's
villain?
true.
It's
That's true.
amazing. I love it. Season 1.
All right.
I'll say a different season. I mean, I like season 1. I'm gonna.
I just talked for 5 minutes.
We didn't convince you enough.
What do you got to say?
I really like season 1. I do, and
Yeah,
it might be tied with me for season 3. I really liked season 3. I like Savitar, how it's him. Like that whole concept. There were so many theories throughout the season, like, oh, it's probably gonna be him. It's probably gonna be him. But the reveal of it, it's like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah, it was
my
intense.
god.
Yeah.
And the fact that like it wasn't even necessarily that he was faster. It was the fact that he knew everything that he was gonna do because he was him.
Right.
That-
I felt that coming a little bit because it's like, who else would know everything but Barry?
But yourself,
Barry.
right?
And then it was all over like a matter of like, if he had written it down instead of said it, he's like, I forget what the phrase was, but he's like, oh, like I am the Flash or whatever. But if you just said like I, am the Flash, like you
Yeah,
would actually
yeah,
know
yeah.
what he meant, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a play on words, you know.
It was
true.
I forget what it was, but it was I am the future Flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you think it's I am the future.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, but
Flash,
then it says
it's
Flash.
The
right.
trick
future
of
Flash.
phrasing.
Right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when that happened
Yeah.
too. Another thing with that is the fights between Flash and Savitar I thought were amazing.
Yeah, that was well.
How he does the same thing and like
Yeah, that's
because
pretty
it's
cool.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I just season 3 was good. I mean season 1 maybe, but like
Yeah.
I think season 3 needs
So you
some
like
credit.
JR too then?
HR.
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 I
HR.
loved
Who shot
HR.
HR?
HR
and
was
I
awesome.
I was so sad at that death. 'Cause
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I know you don't care.
You're like,
but,
"Nah,
No,
whatever."
I like the actor. Like I said,
right. I mean, he's still.
But
there.
I kind of just figured like they kind of make it a habit of just bringing in a new version of him.
New
Right,
version
right.
of Harrison
Right.
But
Wells, yeah.
HR, you hate him in the beginning because he's
You
like
do,
he's
'cause
like
he's
goofy
stupid.
and he
Maybe a
doesn't
little
know
bit at the end,
anything.
Yeah.
But then he's like this team player, and he's like the drumsticks that he has. He's
Yeah,
always,
he's
That's
a
it.
muse. Yeah.
I mean, I like season 3.
Yeah.
But
All right.
do
Well,
you disagree or anything?
I think I agree with Chris. I really like season 1, but I
But-
really loved Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked how he went to that whole other universe and like lived his life like he wasn't the Flash
Mm-hmm.
with his parents and
Yeah.
like with everything else. Granted, the consequences were horrible when he came
Yes.
back, but I liked how he was like, oh, this is what my life would be like without my powers,
Yeah.
and I like that. But I do like season 1.
Flashpoint's a great story.
It's great.
It's really cool.
It's
I
great.
remember watching the end of season 2 because remember the very ending of season 2 is when he goes back in time, saves his mom.
Saves his mom, yeah.
And then it just stops. I remember after that I'd be like, Barry, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know.
And now
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
like,
when
oh
everyone
my
tells him not
God.
to. I
Right.
think even Oliver Queen was like, dude, you
Yeah.
cannot go back in
Dude,
time.
like-
Like,
But at
can't
the
do
same
it.
time, like he's gone back in time to his house, at that moment so many times. There's like 3 or 4 Barry Allens
Yes.
like standing
Yeah.
in the doorway
Yeah.
waiting
I remember
for their
there's
chance
one
to come
telling
in.
him like, don't do this. And
right.
like-
And he's like, wait, which one are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it also like a theory where you can't see yourself in the present or the future because then
Legends.
it'll alter time?
Legends
Yeah.
says that.
Okay,
You're
I don't
not
know
sp-
that.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
Legends,
You
you'll
can't see your own self
You're
or else.
technically
yeah.
not supposed to see yourself from and like if you went back in time and saw yourself at like 20, that would cause like as Legend
rip-
says
a
a
rip
time
and-
quake
yeah.
and like oh. But I bet you,
Time
I
cop.
bet the theory that they back it up for is like because it's the Flash, it's different because he's always
He's
a
always, like,
speedster,
That's the
he's
moving
always
that's
and,
the
doing-
best thing with the I mean, any complications?
They'll
Flash.
Flash. It's
yeah,
okay.
Speed Force.
Yeah.
Speed Force.
It's
Well, I
two
can do
words,
anything.
Speed
It's
Force.
fine.
It's fine.
It's a little
Totally
Deus Ex
fine.
Machina. Speed Force. Yeah.
Flashpoint, what's that? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
No,
created a whole
Flashpoint.
different word.
Flashpoint's so cool, and they actually made a great animated movie of it too. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes, yes,
It's
I
really
have.
good.
Oh, I thought I didn't see
Yep.
it, but I remember
It's
I
really
think it
good.
coming
It's really
out.
good.
Yeah.
With like it's not Bruce Wayne who like Bruce Wayne's the one who actually got killed, and then it's Thomas Wayne who becomes Batman and everything.
Yeah,
It's really-
it's really cool.
Dark and cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen that, you should definitely watch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a Flash.
So,
So then
favorite season of
Arrow.
Arrow.
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
Why don't why don't we let the expert
I'm-
on
I'm
Arrow
the
go
expert.
first? Yeah.
Hey, I have the Arrow shirt on right now.
That's true.
All right.
That's true.
All right, Dan, you go first then.
All right, so there's 5 seasons to choose from. I actually
technically 6.
so
if
6.
you're
I'm not
yeah.
counting the new one yet. It's not
Okay.
over. If I had to rank all 5, I honestly probably could right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Really?
could.
Yeah, I really
Oh,
could
yeah.
because it
How would you rank? I'm curious. How would you rank them real quick?
real quick. I would put my favorite season. Either 1 or 2. That's tied
Okay.
for first. Then it would probably go 5 and then 4, 3.
Okay.
Oh,
3 was awful. 3
Yeah.
was so bad with the Ra's al Ghul. It was in the flashbacks. By that point, we're just like, what are we doing? Like they
I
were.
see. I liked season 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I've got a
three-
thing with it's Raish, isn't it? They always say Ra's al Ghul.
They
like-
say
It's Ra's al
different.
Ghul.
always
Right?
Ra's
They
al
always
Ghul.
say it
Ra's,
differently. It's
Raz.
whatever.
I go off Batman the animated
Batman.
series
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Right.
Like, Bruce Timm.
They could have made it so much better because Ra's al Ghul is a huge villain.
Oh
in
yeah,
DC.
he's one of the best.
They
He's
could
one of
have
the
made
best,
it
yeah.
so much
Talia
better.
and
I
Ra's,
think.
yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
so my favorites, I'd say 1 or 2. 1, obviously, he's getting started. You see his origin.
Setting up the layer.
Setting
and,
up the
like,
lair, and you see,
Yep.
Merlin, which is his
Yeah.
like huge villain. But also season 2 though, because he does have Deathstroke. In
Love Deathstroke.
the last 7 episodes of season 2 are like the craziest things you'll
Yeah.
watch in
Yeah.
Arrow. I think. So I might say
I mean,
season 2 actually, but
season okay. Season 1 was great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a good opening premise of the entire show.
yeah.
This is well done.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
Season 2 and 3 were probably my favorite.
I don't know how you like
I love
3,
I love
honestly.
Deathstroke.
Yep.
So that whole Slade Wilson was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I love the
her.
actor who plays him too.
Yeah, Manu Bennett. He's really
Yeah,
good.
oh my God.
Yeah,
he's great.
Manu.
And then the whole thing with I don't know why. Yeah, Ra's al Ghul is like whatever to you apparently.
No, Ra's al Ghul. He is a huge villain, especially in the
He's huge.
Batman.
So you know him
series.
from Batman. And
Batman
stuff, right?
too.
Yeah, yeah.
I know him too, but I'm just saying that I just feel like season 3 they didn't make it like that huge of a thing. Like they literally just said, "Oh, Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins are just gonna
Yeah, but
attack Star City." Like,
but there's
why?
also a lot of cool flashbacks of Oliver's life that you don't know. Him
Yeah,
going to Hong
yeah.
Kong.
Yeah.
Him actually not being
That
on
wasn't
the
too bad,
island.
yeah.
And like saving this little kid from from with those two.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I
they-
remember
like,
that.
What are
Yep.
they, Korean or something, or
I don't remember.
I don't know what
I
they
don't
were.
remember where he went either.
Hong Kong?
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you had that whole side of Oliver Queen
Yeah.
that you didn't even know. So
Right.
if without season 3, you wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. And it felt very Batman. Like every time I'd watch that, I'd be
Right.
like, "This is like Batman Begins."
And
Well,
then
people-
and then him dying and then being resurrected again by the sword,
Right.
and then him
Yeah.
taking over as Ra's al Ghul. It was
Yeah.
like it was intense.
So
Yeah.
wait, what do you so?
I
'cause now
liked
I'm
I liked 2
interested.
and 3.
But what did you think of 4?
I hated it.
See, I
I
think
absolutely
3 and
hated
4
it.
are the worst ones.
No, I think 4 was the worst.
4 could be, yeah. I mean, 4 is
But
down there too.
Four
I
got
have-
embarrassing at the end.
I have my reasons
Yeah.
for
Wha-
4.
Why? What's this?
Not enough Felicity.
No. First of all, I didn't like when she like broke up with him because of her stupid reasons. Because
Oh, was
the
that
whole
'cause
trust issue.
he didn't
like
tell
proposed to
her-
her and like
Yeah.
that whole
Loved that.
scene, and then she lost her. She was paralyzed from the waist down.
Right.
Right.
And they just got a chip.
And then they
to
got
do
a
that.
chip to replace it. But anyway, that whole thing
Like
was
Diggle
just.
gets his like you
Yeah.
can move your arm now, right? He's like, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like,
look
yeah,
at
I
this
got
good
a
chip I
in there.
have.
It's like I said, it's like Wells hacking the liquid. You know.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, like what? But no, that whole like season was just it was very dark. Again, pun intended. Damien Dark was a great villain,
Yeah,
and I also
I liked him.
think
Neil McDonough. That's the guy. I was sorry. I was trying to remember the actor's name. Neil McDonough.
Yeah.
that plays Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in Band
Legends,
of
right?
Band of Brothers. Have you
Yes.
seen that
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
series?
He's
That's
in
yeah.
Minority Report too. Is when I remember
Okay.
first
he's,
seeing him.
he's
yeah.
great. But anyway, the season 4 was just too like blah. Like
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
See, that's how I felt about season 3 though.
Yeah.
You gotta rewatch it now.
I maybe apparently.
Yeah.
But season 5 to me was a great,
great.
season since 2, honestly.
And to be
But-
honest with you, it's the villains that make it.
Right. Well, in season 5, you have this madman, insane person that's
Oh,
just
he
going
was incredible.
after Oliver,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's
And the
just,
season
whoa.
finale was just like, what
The
the?
season finale was crazy.
I was like, damn.
Everything's
was
blowing up.
crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's blowing up and
Yeah.
like production value. Holy crap!
Yeah,
like, what?
seriously.
That's true. That's true.
They put all their money into that episode.
Like I said, I liked that season because you could tell they were making a concerted effort. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we hear you. Like, it's not the Arrow people loved. We're going to try to do something like it was
different.
before.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
But sometimes I always feel like the writers are like, this could be it, so we want to go out with a bang,
Yeah.
like legit
I
bang.
think they'll
Well,
be-
that
I
was
think-
that was a legit cliffhanger at the end of that one.
Yeah.
Though. They kind of
Yeah.
refused to do it.
Right.
Kind of like they have those moments. I don't know if it was the end of the season or like a mid-season finale last season where like Felicity's like, yeah, like you think I'm gonna go? You think I'm out of here? I'm never leaving. Like I'm staying
Yeah.
here. And like that my heart skips a beat. I'm like, is it happening? And then like
it
of course it
happening?
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
Well, what's your favorite Arrow season?
mine's season 2, mostly
Season
because
2.
of Manu Bennett, who I
Yeah.
think does an amazing job with Deathstroke. I never thought anybody would really play Deathstroke in a way where I would just think of them as that character. With Manu Bennett, I really do.
And you really see, like, again, going back to the crazy, insane thing, like, he was crazy as that villain. And
Yeah.
like,
He was a
and-
great
and-
villain.
he was, yeah, he was
I know
just insane.
Deathstroke from a lot of other things,
Yeah.
a lot of
Right.
other comics and shows and stuff, and he is somebody you do not want to go up against. I mean,
Right.
he's like Squirrel Girl. Like, you're going to lose,
Oh yeah.
Squirrel.
And
Yeah.
don't mess with her.
Yeah, she's
But-
vicious.
Yeah. But with Deathstroke, there were so many scenes because he wasn't just playing like that violent game. He was also playing with the family, and like getting in with the mom and like doing a lot of stuff that
Very,
was
very
really,
clever.
yeah, really, but very Deathstroke-y. Like I always felt like, okay, like if Deathstroke was doing something, that's the way he would do it. And there was
Even without the Mirakuru in him, and
Right,
he was
right.
just like,
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
feel
kill
like
your
they-
entire family.
they
Like,
put that in there. I kind of wish that didn't even exist because like they put that in there to kind of make him okay. Like now we can explain, well, he's actually kind of a
Right.
decent guy.
Well, he
which
was
Deathstroke
on
in a weird way is.
Mirakuru for season 2, though. And he
Yes.
got off
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
He
yeah.
got
They
off
had the
of
little
it.
flashback a few episodes ago.
Right,
with,
and he
right.
got off of it now, so it's like, oh, you were on the Mirakuru.
Right,
and
right.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
Come on.
But Deathstroke's just one of those guys you just don't want to make
You just
angry.
don't want to
you know?
mess with him.
Right, so
period.
that's why I kind of see what you say. I wish they didn't put the Mirakuru thing
Right.
in there.
I
'cause
thought it would just
he
would have
is
been
a bad
cooler
guy.
to
yeah.
have him just
he's,
be like.
he's still though like when he comes back in this current season to help Oliver.
Yeah, like he's
it's
still like a
or
bad
actually when
guy.
Oliver helps
and-
him.
Yeah.
and-
He's still a bad guy, but like
right.
not
Yeah.
as bad as he was in season 2.
No, I mean you don't take your kid on a camping trip.
That was
Yeah,
Kill
that
a
was
Chinese
intense.
spy
Like,
by the
what?
campfire. Like, yeah, so that was funny. But there was one scene in season 2 where Deathstroke hasn't really seen Oliver yet. He only seen him through far away, and he's talking with the mom, and like Oliver comes down the steps, and Manu Bennett makes this like
And,
surprise
turns-
turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't as good as Cisco dying, but it like was burned into my memory because it was just such a great reaction. That's the stuff I
Yeah.
live for on these shows.
That's when he
Right.
puts like the cameras in Oliver's house.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. But it's just like the way he sees
Yeah,
Oliver
when the
coming
when
down
the
the steps.
when the mom introduces Oliver
Yeah,
Queen
it's
to
like,
him,
"Oh, this
he's
is
like, oh, this is,
so-and-so."
and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
like he just gives
That
this
was-
look like, oh,
That
finally.
was oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was intense. All
Those
right, so
are
that's
those.
Arrow, and then one more is Legends.
Legends. You want to do Legends?
I mean, there's only 3 seasons
3
currently.
seasons. I said it, I think, earlier, but easily 1 for me. I think the storyline for season 1 was good, and
The
I think,
characters were still good.
and I think what they're doing, maybe towards, actually, really, not even in season 2, but this season of Legends, they kind of discredit the Legends a lot, and like in season 3, you'll see when you watch, but like they kind of say like, oh, you guys always mess things up and then you have to fix them. In season 1, you see like they go through this whole story and like they're actually like getting things done. And I don't know
Right.
why in season 3 they just decided, yeah, you guys are just misfits and can't do anything now.
I just because they're on their own agenda and they get
Right, but
sidetracked.
that's what I'm
and-
saying. But in season 1, like,
No, in season 1 they had like a set schedule. It's
Yeah.
also because Rip was with them.
oh, Rip's the key.
Rip's the key, I think. Well, I don't know, but yeah, I agree with you. I think season 1 was probably the best, only because they had a strict
Yeah.
like
Well,
they're
Rip
doing this, and that.
Rip in season 1 specifically was like actually like a good leader.
Yeah, he was a great leader.
Yeah.
And plus, you had the same characters. Like you had all the characters from each show, pretty much,
Right.
coming in together, which
Yeah.
I think I really liked that part.
Yeah.
And then you meet Justice League of America,
Yes.
which was
That I'm looking
freaking
forward to.
awesome. Oh, you haven't gotten there yet?
I was looking at the episodes I need to watch, and I saw one with
Yeah.
Justice League of America. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god,
oh,
it's so
no.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good how they portray all those characters, and I really like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, probably season 1 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to catch up.
Like I
You'll
said,
have
I
to
mean,
catch up.
I haven't loved what I've seen of season 1, but I'm looking forward to season 2. Everybody tells me it's
You
much
didn't
better.
like the very beginning of season 1 where like Rip has to go back and recruit these guys.
Not really. As soon as the first episode's premise was like, I need you legends. You guys are legends. All right, am I alive? You guys aren't legends at all. I was like, oh.
Yeah, he says that.
It just kind of like took. I was kind of building something in my head, and it just crushed what like the episode just did.
Right.
So I was like, okay, like, I guess I'll go back to Flash
It
and
was still
Arrow.
good though. I
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that
That's
is
that.
our input on each season that we liked
I
from
think
each show.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think we've bantered and babbled enough
Yeah,
about
this
our
is
DC,
a while.
Absolutely,
our
absolutely.
DC comics. But we'll be back next week, next Friday,
Oh.
with our quirky remarks about the week's.
Yeah, we'll
recap.
be back.
Yeah,
next
we'll see what
week
Felicity's
and-
up to next week and
Felicity's-
see how that affects everybody.
Overwatch, my favorite,
Oh,
my girl,
yeah.
my girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we'll talk more about
Yeah.
next week's.
Well, we'll talk about Black Lightning again too. Again, only 3
Yeah.
episodes by that point, but we'll
yeah,
be back.
so tune in for our episode 2. Again, we're
Mhm.
Vigilante-Verse. You
Yep.
can find us on
Yes.
I guess SoundCloud, iTunes.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do anything possible to get you
Yeah.
guys to listen to us. Feedback is encouraged.
Yeah.
We want to hear
If you
what
wanna find
you
us,
guys
we'll be easy
think.
to
tell,
find.
tell me how you like our opinions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
my
if you
opinions.
disagree with us, even write about that, because we want to be able to talk about more stuff than just what we have to say.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So,
Give us
Well.
something interesting to talk about.
yeah,
I think that's
so
it.
thank you, and we will hear from you guys next week. You'll
Sounds
hear from
good.
us.
All right.
Suit down. We suit up.
Let's
we suit
suit down.
down.
We're suiting down.
Okay.
Vigilante-Verse,
Bye,
suited
everyone.
down.
Sign off.
Bye.